assumed it's because he started his OnlyFans account and just is tired because of that.
At LARP, I'm
Ah,
technically a
that's
dad. I'm not a dad in real life, but
Fake dad.
Look, it's
Yeah.
Not in real life.
yeah, I have
We've
real
got a
life,
real-
believe it or not. I'm not just an AI program that has like this weird avatar on Twitch.
Wait, I thought this was real life. Or is it just a fantasy tool? with a
Fantasy?
role-playing
No, this is
game?
Discord.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ooh.
Thank you, thank you.
Don't be no dad jokes here. Only serious jokes.
Nah.
You can't be serious.
I liked Sirius. I preferred
Lupin?
Professor Lupin. though.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly. Yeah. You get me.
I got that. I knew exactly where that one was
Yeah.
going.
I mean, you named yourself after the guy.
No,
I
I
was
didn't.
in it, but I was eating.
shall we get
No,
going?
no, we're still waiting for me.
I'm live here.
Well, you know when I'm the
live now?
one trying to get us back on the rails. Oh god, I've become
DnD.
serious.
Yeah, I'm live. I didn't want to interrupt that particular line of questioning, but my Twitch.
Oh, in that case,
my
for
Twitter.
Wolfie's live stream, Kaylee watches Supernatural.
Ha.
Apparently,
I've never-
Twitch does not update live because you're offline to me, which is weird. But
takes
if I
like-
click on you, you are actually
Takes
live.
Yeah.
Right.
Takes a second.
Anyway, welcome back to the world of Alterra! Episode 13, A Trail of Arcanite. Previously, our adventurers had finally managed to leave the settlement of Salvage and begin their journey south to the fire giant outpost of Ironcore. However, along their ways, they stopped to make an investigation of the ship crash site, in which the Void Arcanite propellers were initially stolen, at least if you believe the tale of the dwarfs.
And the traumatized.
And having
individual.
found some large footprints of some form of either humanoid or giant kin folk that the party was unable to determine a specific subspecies, you followed them south to another kind of chamber within the stone Titan walls of Titan Guts, in which you discovered several deceased Swamp Raider corpses that we were beginning to investigate, as well as a strange, very strong and sturdy yet light material of this kind of porous maroon, or more like dry blood-colored rock.
And Alvina ate
That
it.
the party discovered is quite actually difficult to kind of chip off, but with a bit of kind of determination and time, you do eventually manage to and discover that it is kind of light. And from Dr. Zorbier's kind of determination of the material, it seems to have similar properties to mithril, but is made of stone instead of metal.
That reminds me, actually, you guys disconnected. What happened when Alvina bit the rock? Because she actually successfully bit the rock. She got a 29 to
Well,
bite it.
you bit into incredibly strong and light stone, so what you can imagine from biting into it, your teeth hurt, your gums hurt, everything hurts.
Okay.
Because you
Successful
bit rock.
is a relative term. You successfully bit the rock.
Yeah.
Dentist wouldn't call it successful. Yeah.
It's fine, I
But
bit
yes,
the
this is
dentist.
episode
Actually,
13 of
it's a
Trail of
success for
Arcanite. Let's
them,
do
you
a
know,
quick
for private.
name check, and then I will go over kind of what got eclipsed last session when the internet died and we had to stop before the final paragraph.
Yeah.
We'll do a
was
quick
great.
name to voice. Wolfie, why don't you start us off?
Howdy, I'm Wolfie Bane. I'm one of the two people streaming, and I'm playing Alvina Alanor, the party's one of the main menaces of the party, and definitely the main kleptomaniac.
The main kleptomaniac.
And the future big
Yep.
bad. Let's not forget about
Zormir.
I'm the current big bad.
it. Damn it, that's true.
Hi. Bob, I'm playing Dr. Zormir. I am the person trying to wrangle this herd in a bit, but also probably not
The child
scot free.
As you see, I've
Artificer with a
updated
big gun. Oh,
the region
now.
map. Now you got little icons for each of the various maps you can explore through on your way to Junior.
That's really cool, actually. I like that. It's terrifying that they look like the eyes of Excalibur from Soul Eater, if anyone's seen that anime. But
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, yep.
you see what I mean?
I want them reminiscent of video game overworld maps, and I couldn't decide on exactly what kind of circle to use, so eventually I just had to settle for this one.
Honestly, the one I might send you one if I can find a picture later, because the Battleforge ones, or Scales Reborn as it's called now, would be perfect for this map.
Oh yeah, go for it.
If I can find an
Fuck
image.
you.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm playing Fuck You, the Immortal Goblin, who is not the T-Rex at the moment.
Yet.
At the moment.
Give him a
Just
minute.
Gwent.
I'm TR, I play Gwent, and I have a car, and I do not want you kids to mess it up.
We'll see the new mini for the car in a moment, courtesy of the point. But before that, Lou Grimm.
Hi, I'm Neil. I'm Lou Grimm, Tiefling Warlock, turning sorcerer.
Reformed.
Yeah,
Reform cultist cast.
reforming. Gotta get out
Assassin.
of these cults somehow.
I'm Assassin. I'm a little squid-balled little shit, and I've already ruined Gwent's interior and continue to plan to ruin the rest of Gwent's car. To the point.
Oh.
You was going to say, hi, I'm Assassin and I'm a little shit.
I mean, yeah, that does sum it up, but I do want to make my intentions known that I will ruin Gwent's car.
The Professor.
Hi, I'm James. I play the professor who is just trying to keep track of the party, basically, and it's like herding cats.
And you're making friends with the cactuar. Don't forget that.
I did. I forgot about that. Last week I made friends with some plants. It was very fun.
You
It was a very fun
integrated with
set.
the natives, and the natives were
Yeah.
plants.
It was very cool. They didn't kill me immediately, which I don't have high charisma, so it's yeah.
You don't have high charisma, but they don't have high intelligence, so you're fine.
No. Who is this person? Who is this plant?
Probably do that in between sessions.
Um,
And finally, the point.
Hi there, I'm Ali, and I'm playing The Point, a dwarven rock star who's hanging around with these guys for some reason.
You live with
We haven't
us.
figured out. Oh, yeah.
Everyone needs a
And I'm Chris
cheerleader.
McKenzie. I will be your DM for today in this chaotic adventure through the altered Sphere, an alternative reality in which the gods
Sorry.
never won the Prime Wars.
And said exactly what you
Steve.
thought.
You did it again!
Everyone else heard the altered chat.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, it wasn't just me.
I thought it was intentional. I actually thought it was intentional.
Yes!
No,
see,
Kaylee made up the nickname
Chris
and stuff.
accidentally said Altered Shakespeare once, and I have been calling it that since, and unfortunately I've ruined it.
Infected.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Surprisingly flows better.
Just a good
The
job.
shattered Altsphere. Okay, let's just. As we can see, you've arrived at the southern shades. As we switch back over to the
Map to make a
locale
giant
map,
Map eyeball.
the map eyeball. We can see here the Gwent mobile, as well as I'm just moving people around the map. So the point of there to now still have a turret on the car.
Oh, that looks great. We've built a tank.
That's fine.
We have a little attack.
I'm me.
Yeah, Bob, zoom up there.
Yep.
Here we go, the Gwent mobile. We now have a dedicated icon for the Gwent mobile. Beautiful, I love it.
I've just
I'm surprised
realised you
didn't
spelt
take
it.
our inspiration away there for
I've
that.
just realised you
Oh,
spelt it the Quentmobile.
Yeah, I did wonder why there was a queue.
We
Quite
should
full of it.
definitely. I feel like we should definitely award the point with an extra inspiration for the session for the great icon.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
good. You
agree
did
on that.
bring
Yeah.
resources to the campaign. There you go. You got an additional destiny point for today.
Nice.
Yay, I'll try to remember that I have it.
For those tuning in for the first time, destiny points are effectively just souped up inspiration points that allow the players to kind of twist destiny to their character's benefit. Each player starts with a minimum of 1 destiny point and can accrue them throughout the sessions, up to a maximum of 3, by doing things that help flesh out other characters' backstories, make the DM break down into tiers, just have a really good roleplay scene. And the other character players are well and welcome to shout out like Kaylee just did there if they believe somebody else deserves something, for bring a little bit extra to our fun and entertainment.
Yeah.
So does Kaylee get one for the
Thanks,
Shaxter
Kaylee.
then?
No.
If anything, Chris gets one.
Chris
I
is
feel-
our one for
Roll
taking
with
that on the chin.
Chris is the master.
Also, we
Destiny.
should specify that we want to make the DM cry with laughter, not with like.
Not tears. Not actually cry.
We make the DM.
Honestly, so long as it's good entertainment, I'll take either.
Yeah.
Fair. But like,
If you can somehow make me break down weeping for like a really intense sad scene, I might give you 2 because that will be impressive.
See, I was thinking like
I have
was
to die
thinking,
again.
like,
Okay.
substitute teacher stress cry, like let's fucking break him.
No,
cry.
I caused the
And I was trying
Can
to
we not break the
specify.
DM?
I caused
We
the
can
no-
break up.
I caused the
No
substitute teacher to
psychological
walk out of the
damage,
class and not come back before. I'm not going to do that.
Emotion or damage.
Yeah, no psychological damage.
Anyway, there
All
are
right.
footsteps approaching us from the northeast.
I thought we had a
Yes, previously, when we ended last session, the players were investigating the scene. I'll get into the details of the corpses a little bit, which you would have time to investigate. However, as you were investigating, there was a loud roaring sound as well as the blare of trumpets to the northeast. The professor, flying high into the air for a vantage view, spotted
It's over there.
some movement to the northeast coming down, but given the kind of angular of view, you need to kind of close in and risk potentially getting spotted yourself if you want to actually identify what was coming down the passages. But they are a good 10-20 minutes away, so it's nothing pressing, but they are heading in your direction. All you know is that there is movement kind of between the crags and the high rises of the Titan Stone. Zormir and whoever else was investigating discovered that the corpses are swamp raiders that have massive either gashes along their chests or kind of holes plunged through them that have traced residue of void arcanite, similar to the rocks that kind of got buffed by the propellers. And it definitely seems like these swamp raiders were murdered, or at least killed, by the void arcanite propellers off your ship that were stolen. The archway into the stone, through the archway there is a wall with slits in the rock, only maybe kind of a few inches wide. They seem to be incredibly deep. They go beyond your, or maybe not beyond your dark vision, maybe 10 feet into the rock. And they've got these strange angular patterns into it, but it is also made of this incredibly strong rock, which in theory you may be able to break your way through given sufficient time, but probably not within the time that whoever is coming down the northeast passage will take to actually arrive here.
You're not within 20
There are
minutes.
cobwebs in little
Well,
valleys
being a
to the
bite's
south,
hard enough, you know.
and there's a
like-
passage to the west. And I believe that's everything from last week. At the sound of the roar, the Hydras go a little bit into a frenzy. Not enough to lose control, but they definitely seem to be reacting to the massive roar.
Okay.
If anyone has proficiency with nature or animal handling, I will allow you to make a check to determine if you can identify the source of the roar.
With Alvina's just backstory, can I make a roll?
I have proficiency.
With
And
your
more importantly, it's from this
backstory-
world.
They're living
It's
in the
not-
monster-infested
You're
forest.
pretty confident it's not a dragon.
Okay.
If that's what you mean.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
profici-
curious about, was the main one. So,
I have proficiency with nature.
then go
Show
ahead
us
and
how
give me
much you know then.
the one.
While they're doing that, what would the party like to do?
If memory
Come on,
serves,
Clone.
Alvina
Great
was
passion.
literally when you guys disconnected. Alvina was making a run up to just jump that.
That's just a pillar rock in the center of the lake.
Oh, is it raised?
Yes.
Ah, never mind then. I thought it was a little island.
You can take a run and try to jump on top of it.
How tall is it?
To the start of it.
I believe it's 60 feet tall, along with the rest of the kind of cliff brow. The brow is 60 feet raised rock.
Yeah, I can't make a 60-foot vertical jump as well as a 25-foot distance. I can't do that.
But Assas Id, you recognize the roar, particularly because it's similar in kind of structure and pitch to Susie and Gregor. That is the roar of a Hydra, particularly given how deep it is, a much bigger Hydra than
Dibs.
Susie and Gregor. You also hear maybe a little bit of echoing to the roar itself, suggesting that there are multiple heads.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah,
I'll
we
hide that
don't want to
checklist.
stick about.
having heard the Susie and Gregor roar, would it make sense that these things are of the same subspecies? Because I'm aware that there are more than one subspecies of Hydra. There are like the iron scale Hydras that vomit
Depends,
acid.
you have proficiency with nature.
I don't, but I do.
Then
plus
unfortunately, it's not your area of expertise.
5. Damn, that's fair. And these are
These are
they're
acid swamp hydras.
Swamp hide.
No, I mean abominations rather than
The
aberration.
monstrosity.
Monstrosity. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah,
I'm
no, I was
going
just wondering. Thank you.
Actually, got to get Susie's character sheet up so I can remember exactly what she does.
to investigate in here.
The doorway.
I want to see if there's anything etchings
Are you
or...
fine wading through the oil? Remember, it's about 2-3 feet up, depending on kind of how deep into the lake you're getting.
Tell me you're tall enough.
Oh yeah, tall enough. It's just you'd get oil covered the kind of bottom of your armor.
Yeah, the armor's like adhered to me quite tight anyway. Because
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but
it's
that
on
won't stop
fire.
it being lit on fire.
Yeah, he's like, you're in a. That's
Yeah.
called being in a pressure cooker.
We're not going to be playing with fire, so it's
I'm
fine.
just saying. Heat metal can be done via other ways than the spell.
Yeah.
Mm.
Roast,
But yeah, it's fine if you wade
Nobody's playing
through
with fire.
the oil
beef stew, anyone?
and get to the stone archway with what appears to be some form of giant head protruding from the top of the archway, and you kind of look through it into the back wall with the little angular slits in it. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Oh, what kind of creature is the head, by the way?
Don't remember if I actually told you or if any of you made a check to determine it. It looks to be some form of giant or humanoid.
Okay.
But go ahead and I need probably another nature check. Wouldn't really be religious or anything.
I'll try it.
Nobody
Yeah.
in particular.
It'd be a nature check to at least see if you kind of recognize it.
Nice.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
for an 18. Oh
Shush,
boy.
shush you.
Oh man.
Interesting. And you're from Fantasia, aren't you,
Yeah.
originally? Okay, you have seen giants like this. When you, for some particular reason, or maybe they came to you, you have interacted with the giants of Father Winter and his elven stone giants. This is a stone giant face, carved into kind of out of the stone itself on the archway above the door.
Okay. Stone
Cool.
giant face.
But Professor, with a 17, as you're kind of examining the rock, kind of feeling maybe the edges of the actual slits themselves, you discover that there's ever so slight grooves here and there throughout the slits, suggesting some sort of mechanical array on the inside that allows the door to open. There appears to be some form of mechanical lock that if you kind of push pressure on the right slits in the right order, may allow the mechanism within to open. You also, with a 17, recognize a trace kind of scratch of Void Arcani on the actual kind of doorway where it looks like it's kind of butted against it on the way in. This definitely looks to be the direction that whoever stole your Void Arcanite propellers took.
Okay.
While everyone else is doing that, can I just kind of be keeping watch, Chris?
And
Yeah.
as
You're doing that by default.
I would shout out, I think this is where our Void Arcanite propellers have went.
Excellent. Now get us inside. They are approaching at a speed of... Well, I cannot see them, so I cannot gauge their speed.
At the speed
Alright,
of
let's say
yes.
they're 15 minutes out.
I would say they are 15 minutes out. I can go and check them out if you wish. I can fly. Much faster.
I need someone with some skill to...
Alvina's
Odds.
just like, takes the run up, just leaps to the shallowest part.
Some skill towards what, Doctor?
picking locks or button. We need to figure out the sequence to open the door. I need someone with some brain power here.
Okay.
I
What
throw
kind
a
of door?
crowbar
Is
down.
I'm about to say, it's like, what? Are there any grooves? And Alvina's already pulling out her crowbar.
There are,
Whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
slits
whoa, whoa.
are
You
just
have
wide
your
enough to get a crossbow crowbar in.
I have a crowbar as well. I don't need...
So do I.
Oh, we all...
Oh, cool. We've got 2 crowbars then.
Yeah.
I've got 2.
We've got 5 crowbars in a party.
Alvina's got her special.
I also have a crowbar.
Yeah.
I probably also have a crowbar.
We've all got crowbars.
I like the idea that Dr. Zorger has just been like, we need to unlock this door, and just turns around and the whole party
Everybody
is
has
using a crowbar.
Come on, guys. Come on, everyone. Let's all put our backs
It's like
into
that. It's like that 70s show scene where someone, where the mum asks for a lighter and everyone just gives a lighter.
Give me
More
a gun!
hands than there were people.
Give me a gun, and everyone just points like every gun imaginable.
Crowbar.
None of the shirts match the shirts of the people that are actually there.
Okay, so Alvina's gonna go out of the wall with the crowbar then.
All right. As you place the crowbar between the crowd, are you just going to attempt to brute force your way through this door?
Yeah, it's Alvina.
That's fair. Given your strength, not entirely impossible, especially if you get one or two other people to kind of help put pressure on it. But it is going to be a ridiculously high roll given the material the wall is made out of. It's effectively mithril. So go ahead and give me a strength check with advantage because you have the leverage.
Oh, is it pure strength? I thought crowbar was athletics.
No, I don't think there's anything training wise here, and most door opening, like blunt forcing a door, tend to be strength checks.
Oh, fair. I'm used to crowbars being athletics. I'm fine with strength. With advantage, because crowbars give advantage. That's the whole point.
The point has wandered over to the edge of this oil and is just watching for now.
20s! I got 20!
As you start really pushing that crowbar in with as much leverage as you can feel the rock underneath kind of ever so slightly chipping in as you kind of crunch the actual rock into itself. You're kind of going through the rock rather than moving the rock itself. It's a little bit more brittle to your strength. But given kind of enough time, maybe half an hour to an hour, you think you might be able to kind of push your way in with that strength. But you are pushing your way effectively through mithril right here. It is going to take you that half an hour with your current strength.
Yeah, I could get through it, but it'll take a bit.
How long?
Do you need a hand over there?
Half an hour?
We do not have that amount of time. They will be here shortly.
Do we have any explosives?
Ooh.
Wrong kind.
I think I've got something.
I've got the wrong kind.
What?
And the point takes off his jacket and starts wading over towards the door.
No.
Holding his jacket above his head to
I
stop it going in the oil.
I want to start randomly pressing the figure out the sequence before they actually come and destroy the mechanism. Or are you...
arcane hacking?
I'll assist.
So you're just doing this at random?
I'm gonna use
No,
my...
you got a certain amount of attempts.
I'm
You get locked out.
gonna
How many?
use my fate to try and determine where I press the right
Yeah,
buttons.
look
I'm
at
gonna
it.
use my
Down.
twist.
You
twist
look
the
really
fate thing.
carefully at it and see which ones have like fingerprint marks on it.
Yeah.
And
Which ones have been wore down more than the others?
yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can see the maybe traces of Void Arcanite on the end of the. To try and figure out the pattern to press the
solid.
buttons in the right sequence before they come and set the place on fire.
As you look at it, given the kind of dark nature of the slits themselves, it's incredibly hard to see any traces of Arcanite. It looks like whatever opened this had to kind of move their fingers deeply into the crevices to get to the kind of pressure points. And unfortunately, there's no way to kind of see the Arcanite naturally from the outside. You need to use some form of detect magic to kind of see the glow of it to guide you. So your options are effectively either use detect magic to see at least the kind of which pressure points and maybe be able to see some form of order. Still a long shot, but at least gives you a chance. Or I will let you attempt to just randomly press them by fate. But that is going to require a nat 20 on a fate die to open that damn door.
Does it show how many digits are in the code, or is it just?
I have detect magic.
There appears to be 20 roughly pressure points.
All of them.
Are there any identifying features apart from the pressure points?
I do have detect magic.
Like symbols,
Like a shift key to make the
writing,
capitals.
whatever.
No, unfortunately, nobody has left the password on the door.
Perhaps.
Look under the
perhaps there may
plant
be-
pot.
Perhaps there may be a clue on the bodies. They may have worked out part of the stratagem. I
But,
call down from
Zormir,
flying
go
at them.
ahead and give me a fate roll
I've just realised something. And because I did, Alvina's
Actually,
Alvina's
give
going
me
to
an
step
Arcana check.
away from the door. By about that much.
Can I check?
Out of, like,
Point
spinning...
is just standing next to Zormir.
Out of spinning blade range.
Sensible, sensible. I'm just
Sorry, Zombie.
casting the water
You're
walk as a ritual, just in case we're still here in 10 minutes' time.
Yep.
Yeah.
With your Arcana, you're able to, and your Detect Magic, you're able to not only see the slight glow of the arcane kind of dust particles in the actual slots, the kind of trace residue left by an individual kind of wielding a giant propeller of Void Arcanite. You're also able to give a rough idea of kind of how long the particles have been there with your Arcana check. There looks to be maybe 2 or 3 orders that it might be. At least it's narrowed it down from the over 20 possible combinations. But there's a couple kind of spots here and there where it looks like either they were done incredibly quickly close together, or some element of the kind of natural world around it has kind of made it really difficult to see the slight variations in the glow of the particles, to the point where it's indistinguishable which order they were done in. But I will narrow it down to 3 possible combinations for you.
Okay.
Would you like to risk one at random?
I will risk one with my fate die to
Oh.
random.
God, man.
Alright, this is obviously going to be a 1 in 3 chance, but before you do so, let's do a quick check of the party, see who else wants to do what. Alvina, what are you up to?
Alvina's just had the thought of, I'm going to stand over there, and she is just... I'm assuming the time that Zormir is taking for this, Alvina has to just move, essentially.
Yep, that's fine.
And she gets a sight down
Zormir,
there, actually.
You're D1 doing all this. Fuck you.
Fuck you is just sat on the edge of the oil lake and splashing his feet.
That's fair.
Just making
okay.
his feet really, really oil.
Really, really oily. Gwen, it looks like you've backed up your car.
I've backed up the car so it's not visible, and I'm just casting Water Walk on everybody, but as a ritual. So we may have 10 minutes, we may not, but just in case.
That's fair. They do appear to be 10 minutes away now. Lou Grimm, what would you like to do? Or are you up to anything?
I'm gonna wait and see how successful Zormir is, and if he's not, I'm gonna attempt to open it.
You can see partly down that corridor before the corridor kind of twists and turns out of line of sight.
Okay,
But you will have the first one able to see anything, as well as the professor.
gotcha.
Assassin, would you like to do anything, or are you up to anything before we attest the door?
Having heard the roar, having Zormir being like, I'm just gonna try some buttons. I'm just gonna walk over to Alvina and just like hop into the bag and just like get comfy. So I'm like, yeah,
Hiding your mayonnaise.
this is gonna end badly, and I can't tell if I want to be around for it or not yet.
That's fair. Professor, in your vantage point, you can now begin to see at the top, so it looks to be almost a tent, or a tent top, kind of at the top of the kind of valley walls with little kind of plumes sticking up here and there, almost like you would see kind of riding on like a massive creature like an elephant or something like that, some form of massive tent-like saddle. So I have no
Tent-like
idea how they're
saddle.
called.
Kind of like an elephant from
Howdah.
Return of the King.
A howdah.
Howdah.
Is that what they're called?
Little like
Yeah.
castle. Little like castle on an animal's a howdah.
Cool.
I'm gonna
They're
fly
about
down
10 minutes out.
So I'm gonna fly down to beside the professor using my jetpack boots.
You are the professor.
They approach the doctor. He's also a professor. Dr. Zormir is also a professor.
Don't set the oil on fire or we're dead.
It's fine. They don't create heat. We are running out of time. I would like to first off look and see if I can see any way through the door, even if it's like the tiniest little crack.
There's a crack now.
There are slits in it. They go about 10 feet into the actual wall themselves. You can't see anything on the end of the slit.
No, I just need to know if there's a slit through which like a gas could escape.
There's a blade.
I mean, in the
Person,
It is-
the
it is a
person
porous rock.
saying they're gonna do gaseous form, aren't you?
shush.
Yeah,
Oh.
for the sake of gaseous form, there is a porous rock, so I'm gonna go with yes.
I mean,
It does
through the-
appear like you could go through the pores themselves, and if there is an opening on the other side, you may be able to find it.
but I don't know if there is. I mean, can I use my
You cannot
massive
see
perception?
any confirmation that there is an opening or anything beyond.
It's just a door into a wall.
For all you know, it could just be a door into a wall.
Could just be a door into a nothing.
It's a toilet, actually.
Could be a door into nothing. You could be attempting to activate a portal. You could be doing who knows what.
It's too risky, and the professor's intelligent. So they're going to instead fly over, and because they're, above average strength, they're going to start moving the bodies that are in the lake to the shore, so that so that I can begin searching them, essentially, myself and anyone else who wants to, because they might have
Alright.
clues on them.
These
at this
are
point-
swamp raiders. Yeah.
That at this point, the point will sigh and just go, I was going to let Zormir have a go with this, but if it's an essence of time, and I'll just cast Password on the door. Through his layer of building, aka Merida. So if it is a door, there is now a 5 foot by 8 foot by 20 foot passageway into there.
Yeah. Yep, password is one of the options, as well as I've also accepted knock.
Not gonna work. Oh, god damn it.
Oh shit! I should have used knock. God damn it!
You have knock this whole time.
I was literally like, oh, evidently no one's
Of
got
course
knock
I
or
have
knock's gonna
It's
work. Knock.
Junkrat. He has knock.
It's not that.
He
It's
used
just
it
a
all
regular
the
mechanical
time.
door.
I just assumed you weren't using it because of the big bang that happens.
Oh man! Fuck. No, I
But
just didn't think. Of
while you're casting that, Zormir, go ahead and give me that fate roll. If you get above a 14, you open it right as the spell concludes, and you both simultaneously open the door.
Please
Okay.
roll
I'm
really
amazed.
badly and make the
Do it.
spinning blade come out. I'm convinced is in those like it's like gaps.
But while you're doing that, Professor, I was explaining that these corpses are swamp raiders. They
I know,
are
fucking 20 to.
it. Perfect. The swamp raiders.
right. They are swamp raiders. They are kind of alien-like creatures that are cover themselves in various scrap and leathers and materials. Whose skin seems to have a natural kind of leathery or kind of rubbery texture to it as you're kind of moving them out. They are monstrosities.
And if they get set on fire, they get bigger.
I'm not gonna lie, I imagine them looking like this.
Yeah,
Is this
like
about
that.
Is this about right?
Is that Star Spawn Mangler?
No, I was imagining more strange alien-like creatures.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's like an Umber Hulk, I guess. It's a bit too Umber Hulky.
Since we're about to seemingly go underground, I'm gonna cast using a spell slot detect magic. And
Magic's already
drop-
running on me.
Yeah, but you're focused on a door, and drop my fly and go through their pockets and see if there's anything of value, anything like a scroll maybe that might have directions or something on it, or even a diary, and then also anything magical, if I may.
All right, give me an investigation check at advantage with your detect magic.
Perfect.
If the professor said they were moving to the shore and this big
Yes.
game, so yeah, I'll loot the ones he's not. Essentially, the one you're not
This is-
immediately looking through the pockets. I'll look at there.
This is just a hairdryer.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a regular investigation check.
Oh, Alvina's amazing.
32. I roll a 32
5.
to find to find things on this guy. A whole 27 above what will be.
I've got a -2 to be fair.
Wolfie,
On a
you appear
20
to be
on a
collecting the
20-sided
duds.
Dice. On a 20-sided die, I rolled 27 more than you.
Okay.
I've got his shoes. Sweet.
Oh man, this guy's got Nikes. Yes. Pulls them on.
No, Alvin doesn't wear shoes. She just has them.
This
She's
one's
put
got
them.
Reeboks.
She just puts them in the bag on top of a satin. Some shoes for you.
Oh, great.
Oh
Put them
man,
later.
no Yeezys. Ugh, God, these Swamp Raider guys.
I don't wear shoes either. I'm gonna
Yeah.
cook them.
I assumed you were going to
Eat
eat
the
them.
leather.
Yeah.
Who in this party does wear shoes?
Shoes are
Zormir.
for losers.
Huh.
Zormir.
Yeah,
Horseshoes, does that count?
No.
Let's go ahead and roll me a. Let's see, it's 30. Give me 3d20s.
Ooh, Chris, you spoil.
If you get 3
Sometimes.
natural ones and it's 3 bombs, I will laugh so hard.
18, 9. Not 19, and 17.
18, 19, 17 would be very convenient.
Can you imagine, though?
Alright, I will, of your choice, allow you to either pick from the Primordial or the Psionic tables for salvage that these guys had already found and have been keeping on their person.
Both is good. I
You
will
have
just
3.
let you.
I would like to
I
split.
will just let you. I'll just let you send me some interesting ones that you think might be fun to have in the game.
Alright,
I'll leave that
I'll
up to
tell
you.
you what those are in a moment then, but let's
Yeah.
move on for now. As Zormir, you managed to kind of take your best guess estimate, and apparently you really guess well when you do. As the point is kind of, I guess, getting kind of speed things up and is beginning to cast their magic.
I
Yourself
kicked my
are
hand.
focused on this wall as you start to kind of almost feel like a sense of magic around you. The Arcanite kind of guiding your fingers as you put pressure on the right spot. You kind of feel almost panels in the wall kind of press in as you're moving about, and you activate several mechanisms. You hear kind of clicks and faint noise from within the rock as the door, or the wall, the wall protruding as the door, slides inwards, or kind of slides to the right into the actual rock out of the way, revealing a passage about 10 feet wide. So just kind of big enough for potentially the Gwent mobile to go down it, but the Hydras would have to squeeze. They can fit, but they would be under the squeeze condition, which effectively just means they have disadvantage on attacking and advantage against them.
Okay.
And there is a sloped passageway running down into the ground at a slight incline, leading into the darkness, however far your dark vision extends.
Ooh.
Move, everyone.
Oh,
I have devil
Alvin,
sight.
Alvin is gonna. It's
How
just
far does your devil sight go?
120, isn't it?
120.
Gives me a rough idea of how far ahead you guys can see.
Yeah, Alvina's essentially got like the good one. But,
120 feet.
yeah.
Now, the Hydras are able to kind of flex their way around this massive pillar in the center of the lake. The Gwent mobile is going to take quite a lot of maneuvering as you kind of squeeze it through a very tight turn.
Oh, I'm just going to
Given-
snap my fingers and it disappears.
Fair.
It is magic.
It's basically
magic.
a summon steed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a summon
summon
seed.
car.
Oh,
Oh,
man. Why didn't you dismiss it and then resummon it in one of the cracks so that the door just exploded?
Because that would kill the car.
And also, that's not how that works.
Yeah, that would just
well.
that would kill the car
Also-
and achieve nothing.
Didn't you know magic has built-in safety functions,
Yeah.
apparently?
Also, you don't wreck your own car.
You
That's what
total your
other
own
people do.
car, yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
But the Hydras are going to take a little bit of convincing to kind of steer down and squeeze their way through a very kind of a small enclosure for them. So I'm going to need animal handling checks from whoever is guiding the Hydras down. While that's happening, Professor, I assume since you're kind of picking over the bodies, you're still within the line of sight of this passage. You begin to kind of see the first bodies turning down the kind of alleyway. And you can see several swamp raiders marching their way towards you. They're out of line of sight of the party with Brow, but
Okay.
they are able to
They
now
spot me.
kind of see anything in the kind of cone past the Brow over here.
Okay.
Okay. 10 foot thick. That's perfect. It's concentration, so that would drop. But they're marching towards this direction, essentially.
Yes. It looks like it is quite a large patrol of swamp raiders with, from what you can tell, some massive creature following behind them that you haven't quite got a grasp on yet.
How far away are they?
The corridor itself probably only goes down maybe 120 feet from here, so it's probably like, what, 150?
150 feet away they are.
Yeah, because they've just come around the turn.
Cool. When they get to 120 feet away, I'll have a thing.
Right.
Can Alvina get advantage to convince Susie with food?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
But
He's
I
not
assume
here.
everyone is now attempting to get down the passages. Who would like to go ahead of the Hydras, and who would like to go behind the Hydras? Because the Hydras are massive and will essentially prevent you being able to go past them initially.
I imagine
I wanna be in
Alvina.
front of them.
I imagine Alvina is
think about-
literally guiding him on foot, so she'll be directly in front of Susie, who I think is the first one of the Hydras in.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm fine as well, because that means I'm with Alvina.
I think I'm going in last because I'm doing a thing to stop the guys from
Yeah,
coming
unfortunately,
after
you
us.
would have to.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
point will be
which I'm fine
before
with.
the Hydras. Just given that he was already at the door.
Who of the people on the shore has the best animal handling to bring Gregor?
I've only got a 3.
I'm
I
at
got
the door as
plus
well.
3.
I've got +4.
Okay.
I've got +5.
Over it,
Gwen,
Gwen.
you're up.
Gwen it
Yeah, Alvina, I've got a feeling is going to have some serious convincing with Susie. She's going to have to drag her down with pure strength.
I'm imagining that you've offered Susie food, but Assassin ate some of it
Oh.
while you were taking it out, and now Susie's just looking seriously unimpressed at you.
An 18.
Oh, nice.
I've just had a thought. I could cast Fog Cloud to impair them from following us for a bit.
Mm.
How long does it last?
Up to concentration up to an hour.
But did they spot us?
They spotted me.
Lead 'em off,
Yeah, then that's
Professor.
probably a good idea.
Get the Hydras underground. I will stop them from following.
Okay.
And I go to start flying, but then I jump 2 foot in the air and I go, oh, that's right.
Oh.
Susie, come on,
I
girl.
must find some rocket boots.
That's fair.
Or
Those are the 3 items you
something.
found off the creatures. You do not. I think you recognize the green slime as lightning resistance.
Yeah.
Another one.
Flat
got
slime.
down.
We have a lot of those.
So do they apparently. Which is hilarious. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it's a rare item.
I've got 4 of them.
As well as the 2 other items that you do not recognize.
Current
Animal.
fluid.
Let's have a look here. What was Alvina's animal? I'm pretty sure the Hydras seem resistant to go down the passage, given these animal
Hello.
handling checks.
I got 18.
You got an 18 because of guidance.
Oh, you got. Oh, I didn't notice the D4 there. Fair. Which one were you guiding down?
Gregor.
Gregor.
The one who's at the
Susie.
back.
Gregor
Ow.
is at least eventually going down the passage, but Susie still seems to be resistant about actually going in.
Susie.
Here you go. Gregor is on his way down already.
Alvina's gonna heave.
Alvina, handle your Hydra.
Alvina's gonna heave a little bit.
Oh yeah, drag it.
She's stronger than the Hydra in stats.
It's like dragging a dog out that doesn't want to go pee.
Yeah. Like, you're
It's raining
coming.
out there.
Just gently tugging on the leash and being like, "Come on, buddy, you know you have to go." And it's the dog looking up like, "No, please don't. No, I don't want to go."
You're gonna watch me go, aren't you? It's demeaning. Yeah, well, stop shitting in my house.
Actually, if a dog stares at you while it's shitting, it means it trusts you.
Ah, thank you, Ben.
It's like if a cat closes. It's like if a cat closes both its eyes in front of you. They
Yeah.
actually trust you.
Oh.
Oh, is that why they do those really long little blinks at you?
Yeah, that means they hate you.
Oh, that's so funny, but really adorable at the same time. I'm like, they look so cute, but it just means they fucking hate you.
Pretty much.
Oh,
It's demeaning. Stop scratching my ears.
Yeah, can I make an athletics check to at least tug her, come on?
Yes, but it will put them into a grumpy mood, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And we'll have disadvantage on any future animal
Disadvantage.
handlings check for the next period.
Yeah.
But yes, you may attempt to. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
20.
Cam motions. Nice.
As you just start
work on
pushing this Hydra into a doorway down a very tight slope.
Like some firecrackers. And throw them on
I
the
imagine
ground
there's
behind
like
them with a
grooves in the
scar.
dirt beneath it. It's just like dog, like a dog being physically
Come
dragged. It's
on.
just grooves, but it's in solid rock, and you're just being dragged.
Can you?
Oh, man.
Is this gonna be like one of those cows can't go upstairs situations where we get the
Oh my
hydras
God.
down there,
We're
we
gonna
can't
leave.
get them back up?
Oh man.
We'll just have to drag them back up again. Get Alvina to drag them all back up
Yeah,
again.
Alvina is gonna give, as soon as she starts properly coming down, she's gonna start giving her like food. Like, she's gonna wipe off whatever assassin was eating
Okay.
and find some different things to try to appease her a bit.
All right. Let's get rid of the corpses here.
Whatever Hydra treats look like.
So in the 6 seconds, Alvina's essentially just dragged a Hydra underground. The oncoming army have probably run forward at least 30 feet. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. Then from my vantage point, can I very tough from Avatar sort of twist my boot into the ground and just sort of begin to raise my hands up, and the rest of you notice that all the water and oil and that lake essentially that's behind us is beginning to just sort of rise up and head towards my direction and swirl around me, Avatar style, as I chuck it down that passageway. That entire
Katara.
lake.
That's
No,
Katara, not
essentially-
tough, yeah.
Katara, well, actually more like Imhotep from The Mummy Returns, where the face comes. 'cause
Yeah.
definitely the professor's face would be at the front of this tidal wave that they are casting. As I cast tidal wave.
Top right. You do so. These are swamp raiders. These ones have very basic stats, so I'm just gonna assume they get swept back.
Let us go.
I think Susie was in front because I was dragging her first.
Oh, were you just pulling her forward?
Yeah, I think she was like.
For Gregor. Okay.
Yeah.
That is fine. Give me a second. In that case, I'll put them at front. And everyone can place themselves before or in front of the Hydras.
Yeah.
Professor and Drax come in last.
Oh, I'd be one of the front ones because I was at the door, so I would have went in to see what I could see
That's fine. I
magically.
just put you guys all on the map. Go ahead and rearrange yourself for marching
I
order.
can't even see me.
Yeah.
You're hidden among the people.
I think you're that one, aren't you?
No,
Nope, that's fuck you. Where the hell is he?
Yeah, there I am.
Where's
You're
Luca?
being covered by everyone else's names.
I'd be in the sort of front looking with the
I-
detect magic 60 feet in front.
I briefly loved at the place
Well,
that we
thirty
had.
feet.
at the front as well, so I could see if anything was coming for further.
There's 120. You got a decent amount of that, actually. There you go. Everything else, I'm pretty sure, in line of sight is kind of cut off by just corners.
That's fair.
So
Right.
you can see in a
I
straight
can
line.
see up to 60 and any magical and 30.
Question is,
There
who
is no
doesn't have
magic.
dark vision?
Yeah, I don't think Gwent does.
Whoops.
That's okay. I
Professor?
will cast light.
Raise your hand if you don't
Aha.
have dark vision and need some form of light source.
I did that in real life.
Somebody
Okay,
that has
Gwent
dark
casting
vision
light on
sits
themselves
on
or
Gwen and they can
Yeah.
guide them.
I
Just
can
on my
do that.
shield.
I can do that. Do you trust me?
Absolutely not.
That's the right call.
As you guys are all piling down the 10 by 10 passageways down into the earth beneath Titan's guts. You hear a massive roar of what sounds like water above you, washing a bunch of swamp raiders down a valley, before the professor and Drax fly in behind. And then
I'm
Yes?
gonna do something that might be unpopular,
Okay.
but I feel like we should collapse the cave entrance behind us.
I thought it was just gonna close the door.
But they
yeah,
might,
I was just
they
gonna have the
might
door
know
automatically close right now.
that. I don't know that they know.
As you
they,
hear the
I
sound
don't know
of
that
rock
they don't know
moving,
the thing.
and the door
Ah.
closes behind you.
I'll just ready like a punching and because I don't want to lose concentration. I'll ready like punches and stuff.
It's a mithril wall.
In case, no, for the swamp raiders because I don't know that they don't know the passphrase. You know.
It was 1, 2, 3, 4, wasn't it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Casts their own light spell. And as you kind of go down the slopes until it kind of begins to level out into this passageway of underground tunnels, the walls around you made of the same red mithril-like porous rock. You can feel a slight vibration at your feet, the consistent hammering that, or what appears to be some form of hammering, that the point previously noticed back up in the previous map. It appears that now that you're actually underground and closer to the source, the origin of this hammering is coming from somewhere not too far away, maybe an hour or two out. It's still faint and subtle, but you can actually now, for those less musically inclined, begin to hear it as well.
What is that sound?
It's a hammer. What does it sound like?
Closer to the room.
I don't know, but it's got a good beat.
Does it sound like the hammering I do at a forge when we
It's going ting,
metalwork?
ting.
Go ahead and give me an
Ting.
intelligence insight check. And while you're doing that, get a quick 5-second pause there.
We can all walk on water,
Refill to what?
right, Gwent?
That'd be great use of this tunnel.
Should be if it was 10 minutes we were outside.
I
They-
highly
yeah, they-
doubt.
They were 15 minutes away, and they got to 120 feet away before I swept them back a bit.
Yeah, I
Then
think.
for an hour we should be able to walk on water.
Cool.
Perfect.
Okay. +3 in intelligence, so
Do you have insight?
and I've got proficiency in
So
Like-
it's +7 basically. So it's 13. Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. It might be. It might be enough. 13's not a terrible roll.
We'll
I mean,
find out.
Proficiency in some tools and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
there's a chance.
It's not an awful chance. It's not a great chance, but it's not an awful chance.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not one of those very important roles that you seem to jinx.
It's not important. It's only important and funny. It's the thing. If it's just a really important role, it can go anyway. If it's a really important role, that'd be really funny if it fucked up. That's when it goes wrong.
Alright, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, I mean, like the, if you roll this fate die to randomly guess the code, you need a natural 20. I'm gonna spend like 5 minutes checking every possible combination to see, okay, it's this, one of these 3. And then you roll 1 and 3 and get the nat 20 anyway.
I did not.
Exactly.
The combination.
Well,
You just
you're
waited,
not
you just
18,
wasted
but-
5 minutes. No, you got a nat 20 on the combination.
Yeah.
That was just a D20. Rolled the 20. If you literally could have just done it off the bat, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
All you did was waste 5 minutes of our lives.
Oh, I'm sorry, I overpaid it.
Yeah, just headbutt it. It's fine.
Yeah, you saw what Brute Force was doing.
Hey, it would have
And
worked.
then you were what, a
It would have worked. We would have gotten the loot from the Swamp Raiders and another Hydra as well.
Well, I don't know about that one. I may have went overboard on this. This Hydra Brood Mother stat block.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is it like the what's his name? There's a stat block for like the God Hydra somewhere from Magic the Gathering. I can't remember its name, but that's a fucking beastly stat block.
It's the equivalent of fighting a bear, except the bear also has lost its cub, or defending its cubs, and also the bear can regrow its heads and spit acid at you.
Progenitus, that's its name.
Yeah.
Alright, I am
intelligence
back.
is actually.
He got a 13 instead
higher.
of a 12.
There. Is everyone else back?
No,
Are we good to continue?
never.
Roll call.
Trying to order a pizza.
Oh, what kind of pizza?
It will be a chicken chili garlic Boona pizza.
Fair.
Ooh, nice.
That sounds like an abortion.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
A chicken boona on a pizza. That's India plus Italy. That's not. That shouldn't be.
Listen. When I used to live up in Preston, there was a great Indian takeaway that did pizzas, and they were amazing.
There's a.
So I'm hoping that this will be this way.
It's just.
Alright.
There's an Indian NDR street that does pizzas. It did the chicken karma pizzas and all that.
Korma's
You're
horrible.
cutting in and out there, Bob.
Sorry, it's because I moved where I was talking, so my mic wasn't picking me up.
Boona's fine. Korma is disgusting.
Absolutely not with a karma. Boona,
Yeah, it's like
you can
Boona's
take
fine.
That off. Boona has some spice. Karma is a
It's
nothing.
baby sick.
That's
As
nothing.
we're
food.
arguing this down a corridor.
Yeah. I mean, Alvina
For
is.
the sake of these tunnels being bigger than the map, you do about 10 minutes of just walking through these corridors before you get to this part of the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
Alvina will be
this
definitely
spice is
arguing about curry.
It has now been a couple hours since you left salvage. You're getting close to midday.
Okay.
If you were above ground, the skylight aurora would be at its highest of ever so slightly more blue in the morning light, because this place never has more illumination than a Scottish dull morning.
Oh,
So pitch black, understood.
Welcome
was-
to.
It was light.
It's like
it was nice.
overcast
It was
with
nice to
grey
do.
everywhere.
It's a great day. The sky is only 3 shades of black.
What are you talking about? It's only a blizzard and a thunderstorm. This is normal.
Just get your big coat.
Lightning smashed the telephone pole by my house. It's a sunny day in England here.
Destination.
Is that a dog flying past on the wind? Yeah, it's fine.
As you guys are heading through the tunnel, having casual talk, your voices echo off the wall. The light from Gwent's illumination spell kind of flickering, casting shadows everywhere, here and there, as you kind of pass it. And because I assume Gwent isn't at the forefront of this merry band,
the one who can't see.
Nope.
so
I'm-
creatures are just constantly kind of moving in front of the light.
It's a warning for the rest of us.
I'm between two hydras. I have amazing
What's
armor
this like just
at the
being walked
moment.
There's almost an oppressive feeling to the fact that you're deep underground in very tight tunnels in a porous, mithril-like rock that seems to capture your voices and then loop them back around to you, giving off this incredibly deep echoing.
It's just like home.
Just like
I want to roll something one moment.
okay.
Okay, Alvina is smart enough to know that the echoes aren't another person.
As you are continuing down, is there anything the party would like to do in those 10 minutes, or anything you'd like to kind of check or anything before we get to the next segment of the adventure, effectively?
Alvia would like to eat.
Big fucking shock.
Is there anything?
Genuinely.
Bring out some of your rations.
Pretty much, yeah. It's actually what she wants to do.
Zormir, anything you'd like to do?
Can I see anything?
You're echoing.
Still
Or,
echoing,
most
bud.
of the point, do I see
You can-
anything?
You see nothing but 120 feet ahead of you of just more tunnels and rock. Occasionally you pass these blood-dyed crystals. They look like some form of bloodstone that are protruding from the walls. It appears to be kind of growing naturally in this area. There's something magical to them, so Zumir, your detect magic doesn't reveal anything for its duration. These appear to just be a natural kind of, maybe not natural underground tunnel system. You're not quite sure how these form. There does seem to be a slight organic nature to them, but you're not seeing any traces of water or anything that may have kind of may have eroded them or anything.
Can Alvina break off a bit of the blood?
I was gonna
stuff?
do that.
Sorry, a part of what?
A bit of the bloodstone, the shiny red rock. I'm assuming is what it is.
Yep. Do you care about preserving its integrity, or are you just smashing it?
She'll try to. If it is like it does come away in one solid piece, then she will. She'll try to. She won't full brute force it unless it actually puts up a lot of resistance, and then she'll just go.
Yeah, I believe it's growing from the porous rocks. It probably isn't able to just come off. You definitely need to kind of chip it out, like you would if you were effectively mining crystals.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me a strength check. Actually, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay, I'll give you the attack roll for. Actually, I'll just use my normal sword because that is my standard attack roll.
What are you doing?
27.
You get actually quite a nice clean
taken,
slice through a chunk of this crystal and manage to kind of get a good, solid, kind of two-hand filled sized chunk of this crystal out of the actual wall. It has kind of it's got a slight black obsidian nature to it, but with a deep red hue throughout the center of it. Almost like it's kind of glassified blood itself. It's incredibly pretty in the right. Do you have any proficiency with jeweler's supplies?
No. You did say I knew something about crystals, though. From Fantasia in general. So.
They tend to use crystals as a form of bartering or currency, just because they're pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Okay. I'm not.
I
horrible.
can get behind the Fantasia just trading via aesthetics. We
Yeah.
love that for them.
Yeah, they don't believe in materialism, because they have that fey wild nature to them, and they have emerald leaves.
Ooh.
They're literally,
It's
especially
just like,
from the
how much
Emerald
is
Forest.
that? It's going to be this pretty.
Yeah, it's gonna be this.
Given how kind of deep red and almost, it's kind of got like a sinister vibe to it, but almost that kind of hauntingly beautiful sinister vibe to it with the deep blood color. These would be worth a pretty penny, especially if you manage to actually get some jeweler's supplies or kit to actually kind of properly cut them and smooth them. These could be worth easily 100, or the equivalent of 100 gold pieces per stone. They look very similar to kind of deep red agnets that you found in Fantasia. They appear to be some form of bloodstone.
Nice. Yeah, large chunk of bloodstone I've put in my memory. And to Zoma's question, it's like, looks pretty, I wanted it.
Okay. It's a little echoey in here.
May have the point kind of polish up so you can actually sell them.
Yeah.
But to be fair, unless you want to stay here, start mining.
Nah, Alvina was like, hey, it's pretty, I'll have some of that. Crunch. This is mine now. That's all she was caring about.
Feels just like home.
Just like.
Well-
Book you, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm just have a quick look at my sheet, see if there's any like spells or anything that I'd want to cast.
While you're having a look at that, I'll come back to you in a moment. Gwent.
I'm going to roll a stealth check to just nibble something as I'm hidden between the two hydras, just because I don't want anybody to see what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, I'm good.
Nice. Blue Grim. Anything you want to do, Neil, before we move on?
we'll never know.
No.
You also want some crystal? You said you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either you want to roll for it, or Alvin will do it for you.
These are
again.
entirely optional. You don't have
I'll
to do anything.
attempt to
Checking in with players.
some of
You
the
want some
crystal.
crystal? You said you wanted some.
That's my
Yeah.
answer.
That's great.
Oh, I know what fuck he's doing.
What would you like me to do?
Aggressively
He's,
urinate.
he's casting Sending to Big Toe.
Oh, for
And-
fuck's sake.
And just calling him a prick. He's a dickhead. I don't like him.
Your parents don't love him.
Or no, actually, he wouldn't be doing that. He'd be like, I can see you. I know what you're doing.
You're just haunting
You
this.
speak out, sending telepathic, or do you actually have to say the words?
You send a
I'm
short.
just imagining you walking down
It's-
this tunnel with your party, and effectively the pitch black and the small amount of light that's constantly being shadowed against, just muttering to yourself. I
think-
see you.
I think we figured out who's Smeagol and who's Gollum.
Yeah.
I think this one's telepathic, but message you can.
It does
whisper.
have vocal somatic material.
Yeah, that's
So
vocal components.
I would assume it is vocal. It's not mental.
Yeah, because it's not designed to be a stealth spell.
No.
So there you
Everybody
go.
just turns around and looks at fuck you.
No,
It's just
Alvin
aggressive.
is just
What the
grinning.
You, I know what you're doing.
It's like, yeah, we're
I'm
walking
gonna
along this
tell.
tunnel.
Alvin is grinning. Definitely grinning.
Can answer in a like. You just hear Big Joe on the other end be like, "Where the fuck are you?"
Are you
Thought
doing
you'd gone.
anything?
Thought
Are
you'd
you,
left.
He's
are you
haunting.
doing anything to disguise your voice, man, or is it just very clearly you?
Oh, it's very clearly me.
You're just
Okay.
haunting him.
The creature hears the message in their mind, recognizes you as sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like
Oh.
manner.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I
Oh,
said, it's not
dear.
designed to be a stealth spell.
And we get him just frothing.
Cut back to the camp. He's on the John. It's like this is private time.
No, he's.
Oh.
Zombie, the echoes
Right.
give me a head. Bob, the echoes give me a headache.
Obviously not permanently echoey. Assassin, anything you'd like to do?
I just see a shrine of murder the goblin.
There's rocks. There's cave shit. Is there anything in the cave other than rocks?
Rocks and crystals, that's it.
Yeah,
It's a pretty basic environment for now.
rock-
Yeah,
Shiny rock.
Darkness.
If I can't eat the rocks, I don't want them.
We haven't
That's fair.
tried.
Professor.
Yeah, could I be examining this psychedelic? I'll get to the jug of near transparent fluid at some point, but the psychedelic orbs apparently very in tune with psionic aberrational powers, which I'm very proficient in. So I'd like to examine it just sort of as we're moving, and if I can use my my mana drain sort of thing to if you'd like, I can do a thing where I put it inside my chest cavity and it's like a microwave that examines it kind of thing. up to you.
Fortunately, that only works on creatures' essence and souls.
This
does not
doesn't
work
have an
on
essence.
items.
Okay.
Not in that matter. You only
Okay.
work on creature stat blocks. You don't work on magic items.
This is fair.
However,
I will just
with
sort
your
of examine
psychedelic
it.
energy, you can go ahead and give me a either Arcana check or Investigation, your choice. It's still technically
it's up to you.
magical in nature. Well, technically it's psionic in nature, but
Other magic.
Like my investigation's higher, but would I get different things if I rolled Arcana?
no, since it's not a magic
know.
item and it's a psionic item, they'll be the same things.
I could also roll history.
Wouldn't be relevant in this situation. This is kind of a generic item. There's no historical relevance to it.
There it
It's
is.
weird orb.
Weird orb.
And it's very clearly from the Republic.
Yeah, I'll give you an advantage on this. You've probably studied similar-esque items in your past.
36.
Jesus.
Alright, fair enough. It definitely looks to be a glass orb, but not solid glass. It looks like it's solid enough to kind of contain whatever energy on it, and if you accidentally kind of drop it maybe a short distance, it won't crack. But it does look like it's kind of designed to break on impact with any significant force.
Okay.
The energy inside it appears to just be raw howling psychic energy, but there's also some
God.
form of kind of almost mind kind of blocking energy inside of it that you'd recognize as energy that tends to target the senses in the mind. So it looks to be a form of weapon used to impair a sense on kind of whenever the energy is exposed to the creature. Definitely looks to be a once-used item.
Yeah.
It looks like
I've
some
written-
form of maybe psychic bomb or something.
Colour
That's
spray.
the
I
best you can
have-
tell from just seeing it and not experimenting with it.
Yeah, I have written psychic bomb ? In my inventory.
It's colour spray in a
That
ball.
was what I thought.
It's a colour
I
spray
was,
in
I
a
was
ball.
Grenade.
thinking. See, I was thinking it was more like a maybe phantasmal killer or eye bite or something similar to that kind of power. But
Who knows,
I don't
you'll
know
have to
until I
test it
experiment
out.
with
Yep.
it. Yeah, I forward to it when I get to my lab.
Which will be forever. The point, anything you want to do before we move on?
No, the point's just vibing, enjoying being in tight tunnels again.
The dwarf is in tunnel. He is
Down
happy.
and down into the hole.
Oh, diggy diggy hole.
The point is humming a traditional dwarvish song.
I am a
For those
dwarf
who
and
don't
a
know,
dig
the
a
point
hole.
is from Steamforge, a dwarvish settlement that is built inside an active volcano, and which the floor of which is utilized to channel the lava through the forges of Steamforge.
Nice.
The interior is hollowed out, and they have tiered levels rising up the interior.
I had a city like that in one of my D&D games too. I loved it.
It's a classic setting,
It's a
isn't it?
good one.
As you are all moving through the tunnel, maybe about 15, 20, maybe half an hour in, you begin to lose track of time unless you happen to have that one feat that lets you track it perfectly. Just from the
Yes.
darkness and the lack
No,
of
Yes,
kind
I
of
do.
overhang lighting or anything.
Wait,
You can still hear the periodic kind of vibrations rumbling through the porous rock. One maybe every kind of 5 minutes. Very low rhythm. But then a second vibration kind of cuts through periodically, and you can feel as if kind of short vibrations kind of almost coming in a Doppler-like effect, as if something is moving through the walls, kind of tunneling or burrowing a short distance away. You get the sensation that there are creatures moving through these rocks, and with your previous experience with the Titan Stomachworm creature, it's possible there might be more.
Ooh. Nice.
But with that, you come to your first kind of break in the actual corridors itself. As you kind of look left and right here, kind of moving forward, you can see that the tunnels kind of lead further in. Kind of move the party a little bit down. With Lugrim kind of catching first sight of all these things, the party kind of following behind. And Lou, as you're coming up to this split in the road, you catch a slightly deeper well of darkness to your left. It looks like there might be additional kind of tunnel straight down, or at least you can kind of see the opening of what looks to be a hole far off to your left. What would the party like to do?
I say to everybody, I can see some kind of hole down this corridor here.
Ooh, is there water in it?
I don't know. I can't see properly.
Oh, let's go have a look then.
Are you looking for a well for water or something?
Not for water. If it's water underground, there might be fish.
Also, if there's water underground, there may be another way out.
And
This
also,
was
I can
likely not the only way in.
I can go swim.
True.
I've not been swimming in so long. I miss it.
But I mostly care about which direction the party is continuing to travel, as the 3 corridors left, right, and forward are of equal size and appear to all be a main route, so to speak.
Oh, so this isn't like an offshoot to a room.
No, from what you can see until you go into the cavern, it appears to keep going.
Oh, okay.
I may have gotten rid of my bag of tricks, but I still have a familiar, Chris, and I would like to release them. So, if I may, to explore one way while we head another.
Alright, obviously it'll take some time because the map is effectively bigger than it appears. But yeah, if you're fine with letting them kind of go off ahead, I'll give you a little mini, you can move your creature around.
No one else has seen my familiar yet, but it looks like a tiny little clockwork dragon, which those of you who have played or have watched
or have
you played in the epilogue campaign, the Dark Side Towers. It looks it's a little clockwork Junkrat's. It's Junkrat's pet dragon, yeah. But these guys don't know that any guy called Junkrat's.
Yeah, there's a little clockwork dragon you can move about.
I've never known anything in my life.
Does that so question? Little clockwork dragon just suddenly flies past Alvina.
You would hear me chanting very clearly, and then the sound of metal releasing as it flies off of my wrist, where it was previously a bracelet.
I missed
Your high passive perception kind of hear Abigail grumble under her voice. I don't know why he keeps making it take that horrid form.
I like dragons. They're adorable.
I don't think we can see eye to eye on that one, Alvina. I'm sorry, it's just they've done too much damage.
It's fine. You haven't met the right one.
Maybe.
I give her a pat on the back.
I honestly don't think I want to take the risk.
Yeah, it's fine. I met a very nice one back home.
The point will kind of rush up to the corner and peer around to watch the dragon at work.
Yeah, Alvina literally dove for the dragon when it flew past her. By the way, but I'm assuming a 5 just missed.
Guessing so.
Probably.
Do you have telepathic senses with the dragon, and are you able to receive information from it?
Well, let's look up what Find Familiar does, because
you base Find Familiar.
It gives you the stats of the default
I can walk
animal.
through it. Cool. I'll put my hand then on whoever's nearby me. Probably the back of a
It's Gregor.
Yeah, back of Gregor.
Just hold on to his tail.
Yeah.
Just hold on to one of Drax's tentacles.
Well, it's
That's a good
only
idea.
It's got a saddle, doesn't it? So
No,
I'll just hold on to one
no.
of the saddlebags.
Susie has the saddle.
Shit.
Also,
Not
that
one of
saddle is kind of
Drax's
grazing
tentacles.
against the ceiling right now.
Yeah.
Right.
The clockwork dragon actually has to really kind of maneuver around the hydras to get in front. And actually, I'm gonna need the. Let's see.
Don't make me the first
Just
time I
Susie just
summon
eat
piss.
It's mechanical, so it doesn't come off with a smell, I assume. However, it is still something kind of buzzing around his head, so I think maybe accidentally they might just squish it. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw for your familiar.
Would it be 2 for each?
To
one
see
for
if
each
they can
Hydra?
avoid accidental Hydra squishage.
Oh, dude, don't do this.
The Hydras are squished into the cavern walls. You're going to have to get it past them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Oh!
Yeah, Junkrat.
Beautiful.
You little beauty.
Now do it for the other one.
Fuck off, Wilkie.
Describe to me how this dragon magnificently maneuvers around 2 giant Hydras just kind of squeezing their way through a tunnel.
So I know I'm mixing my my Marvel metaphors here, but it essentially folds in its wings like Falcon and just sort of zips past.
I know the bit the scene you're meaning.
It's
All right,
a
then
lot
you
of
have
scenes.
a kind of familiar scouting up to 100 feet away from you.
Yes. And since I assume that we're heading towards the well, because I had heard that, so I release it in the other direction.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'd like it to be stealthy, please.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check, because this one might actually matter when I
Yeah.
start doing the fate rolls.
Let me just. I'll do that in the background, but I'm just looking up because I essentially used a homunculus stat block. It's basically great homunculus.
All right, so the party was planning on going left. It sounds like.
Yeah, because it was something a bit different that way. So.
Who would like to take the point?
The point.
The point, I guess.
Boo.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
looks
if
like you've been
we're
following
going
through.
that way, didn't you?
Yeah, Albina would be, but she's still leading Susie. So.
Yeah, so somebody's
But-
gonna have to steer the train of adventurers. Who is following the point? Lou, are you going with them?
Yeah.
Zormir, are you also going down?
Uh,
I'm just assuming by the nature of Fokyu and Assassin that they're staying back a little bit.
Obviously.
Wait to see if those three get
He's
eaten
busy taunting Big Toe anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if
assassin-
I'm gonna get
first. It
eaten,
takes like 6 seconds, guys.
if I'm gonna get
It's been like
eaten, I'd
half an
like to
hour.
be the last one to get
They
eaten.
only have so many sending spells. The point. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
It's a straight D20, okay.
Straight fate roll.
I'm not gonna call it, but I have a bad feeling.
No.
Hey,
Late.
Okay, yeah, it's like it wasn't a nat one, but it felt bad. That one.
Remember, you have those destiny points.
has,
yeah, to get the nat one.
Yeah, to get the natural one.
plus your
You fall in the deep hole.
As you approach,
Let's see what
the,
happens for now.
Point stuck in a well.
as you move down the corridor ahead of your party, the rest of them kind of catching up to the turn in the passage. Advance you guys a little bit. And can you make me down? First of all, you catch sight of the rest of the kind of room with your. I assume one of you has dark visions. Since
Yeah,
Gwen
but I've
has the
got
light.
dark vision.
The dwarf.
As you can see, that this room actually doesn't extend into a kind of deeper passage. There wouldn't be any way to get the Hydras through here, but there are two smaller passages, one with a decent opening and the other looks like a very tight kind of squeezed opening that you might be able to get through. Who knows what's kind of beyond that, though. That lead further down or to the west. But as you kind of come up towards this hole, you can catch a little bit more of it. It does seem to look like it's going into the ground, since it's just literally a hole. It's just a black hole in the map. But it looks like it goes straight down into the earth itself. And as you're kind of moving towards it, you can start to feel that kind of burrowing rumble around you, getting a little bit closer. Maybe not directly near you in the walls or anything, but it looks like something is coming your way. How would you like to approach this? You can attempt to kind of stealth as you continue to move, or you can make noise, you can do whatever you want, you could prepare a nice little lunch. What would you like to do?
I'm trying to work out if the points were put together that hole is probably a wormhole.
Not in the metaphysical sense, I hope.
Yeah.
It's just a black hole.
if he hears the rumbling as he walks in, he'll try to stealth towards the hole.
Alright, Zormir and Lou Grimm, what about you guys as you are following up on the point and you see and hear, or you hear all of this as well?
I will try to do it stealthily, but if not, then fine. Either way, I would go up to the hole to see if I can see the bottom.
Oh, you're continuing towards the hole and then continue moving your avatar closer to the hole.
As I say, I attempt to do it stealthily.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check as you move.
Oh well.
Point-
The point
I'm
falls.
just imagining you as you move, you're accidentally strumming or something.
He's just beatboxing. He's doing a theme.
Yes,
tune.
I'm still just enjoying those. I'm just humming. I'm humming along the the traditional dwarvish song down. She gets to the chorus, it's goes, and I am a dwarf.
Oh my god, Lucrim's even worse.
That's why I
as
was
you see your
laughing.
two allies moving towards the hole in the least stealthiest way possible, what would you like
Lu-
to do?
Lou
Leave.
just started humming because he found that song just so catchy. Contagious. So that's a really good song. Holy fuck.
I just saw something
You saw
fly
nothing.
past.
Yeah,
You saw nothing.
I actually didn't see anything.
I saw
I did.
plenty.
I saw a shape.
enough.
I
Really
I
getting
would
across
like-
the vibrational movements, building that atmosphere.
I no, see how unstealthy they are, hearing the reverberations of the cave around them, of their voices. I pulled my shield to the front of me, my sword in hand, and bash in front of them. Go, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm
And are
seeing
you
if I
attempting
can
to be
see,
stealthy, or
the
you just
in this hole.
moving forward?
I'm not stealth in the slightest. I've heard them making too much noise and run in front of them with the shield in front of me, going. Just sort of
That's good.
ready.
Okay. So as the rest of the party continues moving forward, what? The advance party guard effectively kind of exploring at this edge of the corridor, a couple minutes away. Well, maybe not a couple minutes away for the sake of the map. They're like a couple seconds, but the
You
point
just
and
teleported
Lugrim.
away. Fuck you, just teleported off the fucking screen.
Is that who that was? I saw something.
No, I saw what flashed across the screen.
Yeah, but something
No.
else just
Yes,
went
I saw
higher
what
up
flashed.
though.
I saw
Not at
what
the
flashed.
bottom right.
That means just vanished. I'm not quite sure how they just vanished. But
It was
they're there.
mental.
I mean, I moved fuck you there, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Middle of the screen on the right.
She somehow glitched it or something. What? Oh, 23 for stealth, nice. What are you doing? Come out of there. Roll 20. Glitching on me. Right. As Lou and the point kind of get to the edge of the hole and just kind of glance over for a second into this darkness that seems to extend all the way 120 feet to the extent of your dark vision or ghost vision or whatever it was. You kind of stare for maybe half a second before you see kind of the rumbling. You feel the rumbling around you in a flash of movement deep in the hole. Something suddenly starts to rush up the hole towards you. You can't make it out in the pitch blackness. You can just see this almost porous and sharp maw moving up towards you as Zormir kind of throws you both back, brings their shield up, and then rising, bursting out of this hole is a very familiar sight of a porous stomach worm.
Another one.
As it's time to roll initiative.
Okay. I've just realised.
this is-
Wait one moment. I've got to check something.
Oh, this is one that isn't injured as well. The other one was
It's
injured.
not as big.
Oh god.
Fuck you. You're not surprised. Just for reference.
Okay.
Still getting that one though.
Everyone within.
Oh, you rolled that one plus 5.16.
Everyone within 30 feet of me is not surprised. Unfortunately, Lou Grim, the point and Zolmira were that outside of 30 feet.
Oh.
It's alright, I
The
got a
party, the
5.
party's the one that could have
Still
been
got time to
surprised
be
as
shocked.
Lou and Point were directly staring at this thing, charged towards it.
Is that?
And Zormir intuitively knew something was about to happen.
That is a
Fuck,
22.
he's frozen in fear.
One moment. I'll roll it again just so it's there,
I
but it is a
mean,
22.
fuck you wasn't really paying attention. He just saw people go down here and then started following.
Fuck, he's just following wherever the crowd goes.
Did I actually roll with initiative? Yes, it did.
Nice.
Yeah, the point forgot
Wow.
that not all tunnels are nice tunnels.
It does happen. Those bad tunnels. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
We still beat it! The point, we still beat it!
Cutting words. Cutting words. The point. Cutting words, please.
You can't
Don't
cut
have it.
words in
You can't cutting words initiative, yeah?
Yes, you can. It's an ability check.
No, it isn't.
Chris?
Oh, an initiative roll is an ability check. It's why Bard
Can I actually?
Jack of all trades works on it.
Does it?
Yes. I've had
It is an
someone
ability
do
check,
that to
but it
me.
is not a skill check.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
you cannot get expertise in it, because expertise is only on a skill.
Mm-hmm. Could cutting words it?
I don't have cutting words. I'm not that type of bard.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a,
Neither am I.
that's a lore bard.
What kind of bard are you? Did we work that out? If it's come up naturally, then by all means. But if it's
I'm
not, then
thinking-
just we'll,
I don't think it's
into a
passed
bag.
naturally yet.
No, it has.
Okay.
You're
Well-
you're the glamour bard, aren't you?
Are
No,
you?
the glamorous bard.
Mm.
I think it came up during the rock show. I thought.
Technically, I'm only a level 2 bard.
Ha!
Okay.
I don't have a subclass yet.
Fair.
That,
Fair
that'll-
enough.
Yeah, okay.
But it will be glamour when I do get a subclass.
Yeah.
The Black Star special. She's
Is that everyone on initiative? Can you all see your
Yep.
names?
Yes.
Yaha.
Assassin has jumped into the bag and will be temporarily hiding.
I thought she was already in the bag. So.
Assassin is already in the bag. They decided that tunnels and rocks, nah, not my thing. Wake me up later.
Wait to me when we get to the pond, okay?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The worm doesn't eat you.
5,
Wake me up.
Can't
Am I
wake up.
missing someone?
Lavina
Yes, sir.
Point.
Oh no, 7. Okay.
Abigail.
That's
Oh,
fine.
and she's
Abigail
a
just
support
goes
round.
on the support round.
Yeah.
She's 1. She's 20 or 10.
Or
Yeah, because
She is 1 or 10, depending on how you want to use your support rounds, but we'll get to that in a moment. Alvina, I imagine you hear something from Zormir as a giant worm shows up. Zormir, do you shout for your allies or anything?
incoming!
sweet.
Or quite possibly, Alvina might just be aware because of their sort of warning of danger.
Yep. Sort of warning. Barbarian already has the ability as well. So. Well, Alvina is 45 feet away, so she can just make it. So, both
Yeah,
swords.
you just... you were ahead of Susie, so that's fine. You don't have to worry about kind of getting away. As you just start bolting down the corridor towards your party.
Full on running, drawing both swords, raging. Sadly, I don't get my 3 attacks, but I'm going to attack twice with my new shiny weapon.
Oh damn, you get there without even dashing?
Yeah, I got 45-foot movement.
Fair.
Ward Elf Barbarian.
You just sense an enemy nearby and just, let's go.
Let's do this.
Enemy approaching.
Alright, go for it.
Tug.
Make me an attack roll.
Okay.
Let's see, you have...
Natural 20
Oh.
for a lot of damage.
Jesus.
An natural 20 off the bat.
Boom.
Damn.
It was a different worm, but this worm still just had
Damage
flashbacks.
as well.
51
Yeah.
Nice.
points.
Brutal. I've got brutal
Damage.
critical, which applies to all damage I
No.
deal.
Oh, 51.
Ow. How's the worm looking?
It's not bloody.
It's
I just see
it's
it.
a
It's
massive
just a
worm.
chunk.
You
More
just see the
importantly,
happy, gleeful
describe to me how
worm.
you slash through this worm and actually, poison sprays out on you and your allies.
Well, Albina literally just
I
goes
think you're
coming through.
outside it.
Huge swipe.
Unfortunately, for
Is
a
it
lot
10?
of you, Zormir could only push you back 5 feet, and it is a 10-foot splash zone.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, no, it's a 5-foot splash zone. Only Zormir and Alvina are affected.
She knew what she was getting into.
So Zormir has saved you all
sorry.
from 4 poison damage.
1, 2, 3.
Or at least saved Point and Lou from 4 poison damage. But
Yeah.
Alvina and Zormir, unfortunately, you guys are going to take it.
She knew. She saw it at some point. Actually, she saw it immediately. My second.
But yeah, that's your first attack.
Yeah, made my
Go for a
second
second.
attack.
As the amethyst dragon blade slices through the lilac porous rock of this worm, you go in and you get another slice in, dealing a little bit more damage, and unfortunately splashing yourself and Zormir with more poisoned blood, effectively kind of spraying down on you from these wounds for another 7 damage.
He's like, I like this thing.
I don't.
No, the sword.
Oh,
But Alvina, is that your turn?
Yeah, because I used my bonus action to rage.
Nice. The point, it is your turn.
Okay. The point is going to see this coming and go, oh no, and immediately run away back to here, and we'll deploy Merida down there.
Alright, if you look to the followers and or party followers and companions, Merida has their own sheet that if you hover over Merida's name and drag it to the map, it will spawn the icon.
Oh, that's 2 of them.
You're free to place it wherever you want. We'll just resize it there.
There you go.
There's
Yeah,
a
it's
nice
there.
big Merida weapon.
She
And
is a
we'll-
weapon, isn't she?
Use a bonus action to fire it.
Alright, go for it. Roll for attack.
What damage does it force, right?
It does force.
Yeah, it's 2d8 force. Oh, sorry. I don't know, I generated the wrong one. I meant to do force ballista, not
I
flamethrower.
need to attack save here.
Nope. I meant this one.
Yeah, the
Try it
other
again.
gun.
Yeah.
Do the other one. The other one. No, not
Big one
fire.
against.
One with actual.
There we go.
range.
23 to
nice.
hit, 15 damage.
Nice!
You know,
And
roll
if it can be pushed 5 feet back, it gets pushed 5 feet back.
Part of
back
it will
and
still be
push
in
it
the
down
hole,
the
but you
way.
kind of almost like a
falls in the
inflatable wave man. You push it back only for it to like come forward again.
It's like those punching bags, you know, the ones that are under like the ball. BAM!
Whack 'em.
But more importantly, as more poison blood sprays upon the 2 melee characters, 9 more damage.
wacky waving inflatable arm flailing
Tube
man.
worm.
Yeah, the pushing 5 feet away was better when it could actually push.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just backs into a solid object, that being the hole.
Does it take damage from it?
Is there anything else you can do? I believe that was it was an action to deploy, bonus action to fire, wasn't it? Is that your turn?
Roll the
Yeah,
exact
And then
same.
movement to run back there. Yeah, that's the turn.
It is now the Titan Stomachworm's turn. They've taken quite a beating, but they are not bloodied yet. So they are going to... normally they would make 2 attacks, but they cannot make an attack with their stinger, being that it's still in the hole.
In the hole.
So they are just going to make a single attack. Alvina, since you did the initial attacking, did you go reckless at all?
I did, yes. She always
So
goes
it
reckless.
will Ooh, it has a poison spray. I forgot it has a spray attack.
Oh,
I don't need to do an attack roll. I'm going to
Give
use
them
its
all.
venom spray.
okay.
Uh-oh.
As in a 15-foot cube. Ooh, interesting. Kind of hovering above the party, although...
Oh, it's like a
one second.
mortar, not a blast. That's cool.
I can move somewhat forward. It will only get the party nearby, so Fuki and the point are safe. However, I am going to need Lou, Alvina, and Zormir to give me a Constitution saving throw against poison.
Okay, I actually don't get my advantage on this one then.
What the fuck?
I
did
did get a
roll
23
there?
though.
Holy, you don't need it.
I rolled a 2. Plus 7.
Ooh, as unfortunate for you guys, the Titan Stomachworm venom spray is incredibly potent.
Noxious poison.
As you take 30 poison damage for those who failed, half on a success for Alvina for 15. And for those who did fail, you now receive the poisoned condition for 1 minute, and you can repeat the saving throw at the end of your turn, ending the effect on a success.
Oof. Sucks for you guys.
Yep. But that is the poison spray. It's not bloodied yet, so it's not going to potentially run or anything. It's going to attempt to still stand its ground, and also at the end of its turn, it's going to do a recharge to see if it gets its poison spray for next round. It does not. It only
Okay.
gets back on a 6.
I was curious because the other one I don't think ever rolled a 5, so it's like, ooh, does it? Does it?
Is that 5 6? No, it takes quite a lot out of it to conjure enough of the poison, given that it's constantly just spewing it out of its poor skin. But that is the Titan Stomach Worm. The
That is the
professor-
equivalent of just coughing up blood, isn't it?
It's a filled with stomach acid, I assume, or something like that.
Well, that's the thing. It's a stone-like sponge that is designed to absorb and destroy bacteria inside the stone titan. If you take legend to go by,
Oh, I thought it was like a parasite. That's cool. They're actually they're like antibodies. I like that.
Yep.
They're bad antibodies.
I mean, not if we were a virus,
Yeah,
I
you
think a
guys-
normal antibody.
Yeah,
Are
so
the virus.
we
Ah,
are the
right.
virus.
Yeah. It's like saying we're
Adventurers
the
are the real
police.
plague.
It's like saying that the police are evil because we're criminals.
Professor, it is your turn.
Is this the same kind of worm that we fought previously? I've got a lot of
Yes.
moving parts to my
Yeah.
thing. So
It also has
so
another big
I've-
amethyst scash in it now.
Yeah, that's interesting. That.
As well.
Well, I am nowhere near it. I'm behind 2 fucking Hydra.
Mhm.
You are.
Yes. So I can't cast spells through that dude. I'm stuck there. The 2 healers, Gwent and the Professor, are stuck in between or behind Hydra. Great. This is great.
I gave you the
Right.
chance to dictate your order.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I like it. I will.
Yeah, it means
Can't
you're
do that.
safe.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
You've got a wall of lizard between you and the monster.
I can do very little.
That's
Where's
no
that
spell,
gash
Wall
in
of Lizard.
form?
There's nothing like going through a creepy underground tunnel and being attacked by Stomachworm antibodies.
Where's the gaseous form if pushed forward?
Oh yeah.
You can use that. You're confident there's a space in front of the Hydras now.
Yeah, but that would be my
If
action.
the Clockwork Owl, the Clockwork Dragon can get through.
No, it's not Bubo. Sadly, it's not Bubo.
I
Shout out to anyone who gets that reference.
in the corner.
Yep.
No, I don't think I can do anything at
sir.
present. So I'm just going to let me just look up very quickly. Healing word. Do I require being able to see people? Yep, that I can see. Fuck.
Yeah, Misty Step.
I do have Misty Step. That's a no. Yeah, I do have Misty Step.
Yeah, that's not a terrible
That's a
one.
point.
I'm the point.
Yeah, he's the point. Stop taking his thing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna Misty Step right in front of Susie then. And then hearing it's go time, essentially. I
Pretty much.
come past this corner, see the worm. Damn. And I believe these worms had regeneration. Is that right, Chris?
They do, yes.
But it's a very high CR, I imagine.
Yes.
My
they are
abilities
the
are-
equivalent of CR 11.
CR 11. Okay.
I
Then
think they're probably higher. I only have them down as tier 3. I don't really do CRs for homebrew.
okay.
It's like a bigger
They're
purple.
equivalent of CR 15.
I was about to say it's a bigger
15.
purple worm, so probably a
Yeah.
bit higher
Yeah,
than
bigger
that.
purple one. Let's go with 18. CR 18.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have enough soul points to lock off its regeneration, so I will just cast a spell upon it.
You don't happen to have that one cantrip that stops healing, do you?
Oh, I might, because it's a soul
Uh,
one.
Cold touch?
It's
No,
something like it's
Chill
chill
touch.
touch, yeah.
chill touch.
You can just look it up.
It's like, do you have it? It's real good. We beat the shit out of a vampire in a campaign because of it at level 2.
If you don't have it, I have it.
Do you actually?
Yes.
Hell yeah!
And it's 120 feet.
Oh yeah,
Nah.
it's great. It's one of
Mine's
the most.
240.
It's one of the most underrated cantrips ever. It's
Alright, now you're just showing off of there.
Spell sniper. Pew!
But yes, Professor, do you have it, or are you going to use it?
Where is it? I can't find it on my thing. I'm sure I've got it written down somewhere, but I'm not going to cast it. I will cast Mind Sliver. So I would like it to make an intelligence.
Isn't Thingy Misty Step a leveled spell?
Yeah, but
Yes.
it's a bonus action.
It's a bonus
Yes.
action. If he
The
if
more
I
important
can cast
one
Mind
cantrips.
Sliver.
is
leveled spells.
a contract.
I'm going to use an action to cast the cantrip. Mind Sliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mind
Perfect.
Sliver's the shit. You're thinking Mind Spike, I think, Bob.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're making an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence save, please.
Alright, what is the intelligence save off a modified...
Same as
purple
Alvina's.
word? Yep, -2. Okay.
I remember that.
Still chance I roll really high.
It cannot make the save.
It
It
definitely
rolls a
can't.
nat 20.
Wait,
cool.
what's your DC? It's 19 or 18?
It's high. I think it's 18. It takes 11 points of psychic damage.
Nice, which does not trigger its
Yep.
blood ability.
Yeah.
And the next time it makes a saving throw before the end of my next turn, it has to roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from its save. So it has a bane for 1 round, essentially. But only on
He does.
save.
I stabbed it.
Nice. Is that your turn? That's your bonus on your action.
Knock it prone, tie it up.
It's a worm. How
Says-
do you knock it prone?
Good point.
How do you knock it prone? I think it might actually. It's not technically immune to prone. Fascinating.
It's my turn.
I guess you turn it on its back.
It has a
Wait,
top.
it is your turn.
It has a top.
Can I use my bonus action to like jab Susie in the butt a bit so she walks forward a touch?
She's pissed off.
No.
Remember, that's probably a bad idea.
You can use your movement to attempt to squeeze and either like push Susie forward, try to squeeze past it. Yes, but you're willing to get the one chance. I'll let you do either a animal handling or a athletics check to kind of either attempt Susie forward or squeeze through him.
Animal handling, because my athletics is trash. It's not bad.
You give like a little jab, but not hard enough that the Susie would turn around and try to eat you. But just enough to coax them forward a little bit and kind of park a little bit in the slightly larger, more spacious kind of central here, giving you just enough room to kind of move past.
The treat's worked. She's not quite as pissed off anymore.
More importantly, the hydras have gecko feet, so she also just like parks halfway up the wall.
Good girl.
Oh, I'm gonna stick Aura of Vitality on myself and just move around the corner until I can get these idiots in it.
So you need to move into some sort of a line of sight.
Yep, so I can see all of them now.
Nice. Remember everyone that for aura effects, unless it says they can move around corners, they get blocked by full cover. So you need to at least have like a line of sight towards creatures for auras. Sweet. That was your essentially free action and movement. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I have.
Casting aura as well. So it's an action.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong aura. It's the aura of purity, not of vitality.
I was wondering why you
It's
were
the
doing
Yeah, it's the poison one, not the other one.
Yeah, I was wondering why you did that one, but I went, oh, fair enough. I'm not gonna argue.
I mean,
Any bonus action or anything you'd like to do?
I could use it. Yeah, but...
Nothing bonusy that I can do. Not
Alright, so Mir, it is your turn.
Does that cure it?
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Oh, actually, I don't think this one does.
I think it gives you advantage on.
an advantage. So you
Yeah.
have advantage at
Yeah.
the end of your turn, but for now you still are
It's the
poisoned.
higher level one that I think removes it.
Okay.
Has resistance to poison damage and advantage on saving throws against.
But hey, you
effects.
can't become diseased.
Yeah,
This is always good.
we can't catch the cold.
But for now, any attack would be at disadvantage.
It's actually at advantage if it's melee because you're next to Alvina.
Ah, then it's advantage and disadvantage for a
Exactly.
flat roll.
Exactly. Yeah.
A flat
The
roll.
wolf's handy.
Okay.
Tome of the wolf, leader of hunters. It's great.
Well, I'm gonna lead out with a punch to the face,
Oh,
yeah!
nice.
and it now can only attack me at normal. Everyone at disadvantage.
Or me at neutral.
Nice. What is that? 15 damage. What sort of damage is this?
This is thunder.
Oh, it actually is thunder. Wow. Okay. So rare to ever see thunder.
I think that's why it's
As-
thunder, to be honest.
You just feel the ripple of thunder kind of through the floors and walls around you. And it has disadvantage attack anyone else, you said?
Yes.
Fair enough.
Hilariously, the two people in melee of it, it's got, it's just a neutral because Alvina's got given it advantage anyway. So,
That was the whole point of me
Do you
doing
have
it
a
as
second
well.
attack or anything?
Yeah. But I'm gonna. The thunder is affecting it. I'm gonna use the actual blade. Well, my.
your new, like, tungsten rod thing.
Oof.
Right, and
You need to change its name from antimatter rifle to, like,
yeah, I haven't got time.
Magic blade.
I didn't have time to make the thing because I was doing so many other things. The D4.
yep, roll damage. Please get psychic. I think that's on the list, right?
Yep,
3.
psychic.
Yes!
Because we get splattered. We get splattered with the blood for the thunder, but not the.
You will for the thunder because it's just when it takes damage that isn't psychic. So for the not that one. For the thunder, you take 10, which makes sense because you're literally just punching the poison out towards you.
Let's squeeze in
You
a
do have
sponge.
all resistance to the damage though, so it will be
Oh, yeah.
only 5
Oh, well, heal back
thanks
up.
to the aura of purity.
Thanks, Gwen.
And you do not get any from the psychic damage.
Thanks, Gwen.
You're welcome.
So it's the 3 of us that get thunder damage.
No,
Uh,
it takes thunder damage. We take.
Alright.
Me and Zomir take poison.
Just Zormir
Alright.
and Alvina. Lou is just out of the splash range.
Okay.
And there's a. Just as a vocal. I could do some healing.
I need healing.
Yeah, Albina could use him. I think Zomir's lower health.
All right,
than her.
Zormir, is that you?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll go to a support round where you can either have Abigail run forward and help out, or have the Hydras. Drax technically can maybe see 1 or 2 people down the corridor, but has no interest of trying to squeeze past a Hydra to the people actually in the cavern.
Actually, I'll use my bonus action for shift before I end my turn.
That's right. So,
Abigail can.
what support action would the party like to use?
Abigail can cause someone to use the reaction to take an attack, right?
Yes, she has the command feature, as she is a commander in training.
What's the damage on your gauntlet again, Zomir? Actually, no,
Thunder.
it's got ammo, hasn't it?
No, the
Gauntlets don't know.
No, his
No, the
what's it
gauntlet.
called? His lance thing. Because he's not got the
Blade?
repeating. He's not got repeating on it. He's just got the damage buff.
I don't think we discussed any ammo, so I'm assuming it doesn't.
Okay.
It's because I just don't deal with ammo when it comes to artificers in this damn gun.
Fair.
and plus I've turned it into a blade.
Yeah.
Sage was
So
stab
I
it.
just assume they make their own power source for the sake of ammo.
Ever. Just stab at them. I think you do more damage.
It will require the attacker to use their reaction. So Zormir, are you fine using your reaction for Abigail to command you to attack?
Uh,
Because if you're not, I am. So I'm fine using mine. If you don't want
yeah, I'll
to
use the reaction.
Then Abigail runs forward, seeing how much damage Zormir's new weapon has come in, and kind of points out a bit of a wound inside the Titan Stomachworm's body near Zormir. Zormir, quickly! Attack the wound! Really dig in! It seems to be able to take the psychic damage without damaging us. Unfortunately, though, you just weren't quite able to get there in time before the worm's kind of twisted away from you, and your blade kind of glances off its body.
Oh wait, the poison. Is it at the end of the person's turn? They get to roll for it.
It is at the end of their turn, so Zormir, you would have had a save
Yeah, because you might get advantage.
before the end of your turn.
You might
And
get.
you have advantage on the saving throw for the Constitution save.
Alright.
Come on.
One save.
It's a good point.
Yes.
A 22 definitely saves, so you would have an advantage from Alvina.
Yeah.
So roll another attack.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, fuck.
It's better.
It
It's
was-
better.
I tried.
It's better, but it isn't quite enough. As unfortunately, even with the poison kind of leaving your body and you becoming more back to your senses, the poison leaving your body distracted you just enough that you weren't able to get to the wound in time.
I
He
think it
just
was
becomes
going
so happy that the
Yeah.
poison was leaving them.
and struck at the wrong point and just hit one of the plates.
It's like,
I
I
also
feel
think it's the
better.
first time that Abigail's ever kind of instructed you to attack, and maybe it's thrown off your aim a little bit.
he overthought
what?
it. He overthought it.
And plus I would have to roll a 3 to make sure it was actually the psychic.
Hey, we'll take any damage, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just killing it helps.
Fuck you, it is your turn.
Okay, so fuck you is gonna run up to essentially under its chin.
Okay.
So if I'm on the right thing.
I'm gonna show you.
Um,
Can it?
yep.
Are you really?
Basically, yeah, he's gonna use his dagger and like try to stab it under its chin.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Roll for attack. Because you're in melee, do you get advantage from Alvina's thing still?
Yep.
Yep.
Any melee
Yeah.
attack, including magical ones, which
Any
is the
melee
great thing
attack.
about it.
He's gonna try stab it and leave the dagger in the worm
Interesting. Okay.
for a 23 to hit.
Yep. With the advantage, you're able to really get in there and manage to plunge that dagger through the under maw of this creature's mouth.
Yep. So that's 6 piercing damage, and then I am going to bonus action disengage and run away.
Alright, is that your turn?
Yep.
We do still take poison, though, don't we?
Yes, this is just the regular damage. So as you stab into the creature, a spray of poison splashes out on Zormir, Alvina, and Fukyu for 14. Oh. As you seem to have really hit into the jugular that he actually uses for his venom spray, and as they were recharging it, managed to get a splash down for what would have been 14 poison damage, but with the aura of vitality goes down to just 7.
Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you.
Alright, and with that, Lou Grim, it's your turn.
I guess chill touch.
Yeah!
Nice, I believe that's an attack roll.
Yes.
Make a ranged spell attack roll. Remember, you are still poisoned, however, and this is a ranged spell, so this will be at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't get advantage from Alvina, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's only melee, unfortunately.
What key was it for disadvantage?
You are poisoned.
Guitarro.
I think he's trying to ask you how to do it.
That's it. Cheers. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Unfortunately, your first attack on a 12 misses.
I
As
didn't
the
see that. I
worm
just seen
rolls
the
out of the way.
23.
I
Yeah.
don't think Chill Touch gets multiple attacks. That's only Eldritch
No.
Blast.
No, I didn't realise that I'd done it twice.
No, they double clicked, and unfortunately, the second one was much better.
Darn.
So, unfortunately, unless you want to twist destiny, I think that's you.
It might be worth it. I don't know. Ah!
Twist it, you'd get the second roll.
Yes, go on.
Go on. Because it's so well, I'm just going to take the second roll there for 8 necrotic damage. And as you blast in... Actually, I don't think it's blasting, I think it's like a skeletal hand. As your ghostly skeletal hand, I'm just imagining it slapping the worm.
Yeah, it's just
No!
bitch slapping that across the face.
Dealing the damage. The worm, the skeletal hand's imprint seems to linger on the surface of the worm and actually corrodes the porous skin of the creature, splashing a bit of poison down on everyone as it does. For 12 half to 6 poison damage. But the necrotic damage actually seems to be eroding away more off the skin than initially expected, doubling the damage dealt.
Oh!
It appears to be vulnerable to
Really?
necrotic damage.
It doesn't like
Oh. Frantically takes it. Oh, it's actually down.
As well as that,
If I had
it has cannot regain hit points.
Yep.
And it is not undead, so I don't care about that effect.
What kind of worm was this again?
Titans.
It is a Titan Stomachworm.
Titan stomach. Vulnerable to.
Whereas Alvina's got it in her notes, apparently pumice worm.
Lou Grim, that was your action to do it. Have you got any bonus actions or anything, or would you like to move or anything before the end of the turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna move back a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Where's the range of this thing? Are you within range for me to opportunity attack?
I think you said 10 feet last time, so you might be.
Yeah, Lou, you know that the worm seems to be able to stretch a little bit and attack. Are you willing to risk an opportunity attack to get out of the way?
I don't have my reaction.
Yeah, that's why I was going,
yes.
do you want to, Zome? Because yours has got other uses than mine. Mine is just hit. So.
I'll
Since
let
you are
him,
a seasoned adventurer, you know there's a chance it might try and strike at you as you turn your back. Figuratively speaking, you don't actually have to turn your back, but mechanically.
yeah.
You're willing to risk it?
Yes.
Still has disadvantage.
Because, I'm going to take an opportunity attack because it doesn't have a reaction for anything else. I believe it has disadvantage from Zormir on attacking anyone else.
Yep.
Yeah,
So let's go ahead. It has a +9 to hit for a natural 1 on that disadvantage. As it looks like it's about to go strike for Lou, but given that Zormir is the one giving the disadvantage, Zormir does something. I assume either bangs against like a shield or does something to kind of pull its attention there. And it doesn't. It just stops mid-attack. It just reels back and stares at Zormir.
Is that what you do? You just shout, "Hey!"
Hey, worm! Stop in the name of the law!
Looks back again.
Hey!
It is now your second support round. You've already used Abigail's ability. Who else's ability would you like to use? You can either use Susie's or you can have Drax. Inspire somebody it can see.
Question about if we ask Susie to do hers.
You can only see me, right, Drax?
They can see Susie and Gregor.
They can see the Hydras!
Yes, they can get pointers to the Hydra. I don't think they'll actually. I don't think it'll work because I don't think the Hydras have a language, but you can try.
Well, they can telepath.
With an intelligence 1 Hydra? Oh, intelligence 2, sorry.
How about this? Can we have, because I know aboleths can do mental enslavement, can we do Drax moving, essentially herding the Hydra?
Please no, that's asking for problems. Down the line.
Yeah, I'm having a look at his mechanical support action here. It does not say enslavement.
Herd Hydra is not on his list.
It's almost like this is, while this is a role-playing experience, it's also still a game.
I have a question.
Use the tentacles and whip.
This is far too small a corridor for Susie to be able to breath weapon down and not just kill everyone in the party, right?
That would be correct, yeah.
Yeah. I'd just say we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Skip
to be fair, this might be one of the few situations where Abigail is the main support.
Yeah. Because considering that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minimum people will get hit by her breath weapon.
How many people can go down the hole?
In that case, Alvina, it is your turn.
Could I use my reaction on that support round to slap Susie to make her go further forward then? To create like a go forward thing.
She can move her forward on your turn. If you like, it won't affect her support. There's still too many people between the three of you. But just for you, Professor, the Drax asks if you want to let him invade your mind so he can give you pointers.
No.
I'm afraid you don't get a D10. The Drax will only give his inspiration to people who he can telepathically communicate with. Alvina, it is your turn.
Alvina's gonna slicey, dicey, slicey.
I'm gonna have to kill Drax, aren't
I? I'm Destiny in that. Fuck it. I have 3,
okay.
so... 22, that's better.
22 slices in, dealing 18 damage, and also more poison spray. Also, Luke, give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage because you ended your turn and can lose the poison potentially.
Come on, Luke.
It's 2d8 poison for the rest of you. So for Alvina and Zormir, that's 11 half to 5.
Cool.
17.
I believe that makes it. What is it? DC 16? It does make it.
Yeah!
Poisoned.
Nice, Luke.
Oh, and I believe that the worm is bloodied.
Cool. I'm gonna hit it again.
Sure it's bloodied like 2 attacks ago, but I lost track.
22 again!
22 comes in for another 19 damage, getting another. The worm's definitely looking very beat up. The necrotic in its side starting to eat through more of its body as well as you're slashing entire chunks of it off.
And then her left hand's gonna come around because she's dual wielding.
Splash of poison. Take 5 half to 2 poison as you do that, and unfortunately a 15. You don't quite manage to land the full third attack in there.
The normal sword bounces off, unfortunately.
Not enough rage on it.
It's her left hand. She's right-handed.
That's fair. You don't take any more poison, as I believe that's your turn. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
All right, the point is your turn.
Right, who's looking like they're not doing so good?
Alvina's
And up
pretty
in
hurt,
there.
but I think Zormir's nearly dead.
Okay, in that case, the point will run down to. Oh, damn.
You'll be
Okay,
next to
things
both
like
of
a
us to
move.
heal, which is the convenient bit. So
So, you assume I'm not going to run away again immediately afterwards.
you have to disengage. It's going to eat you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
So
it's
I
already
will
used
cast.
action on Lou. You know that it doesn't have a reaction yet.
Oh yeah. It's
Okay,
turns
good.
next. It's turns
I will
next.
still cast Cure Wounds on Zormir. Just
Yeah,
level
they're
1.
Mechanically minded enough and seasoned adventurers to be aware of your opponent's overreach.
Mhm.
Given that it's especially one opponent, it's quite easy to track.
Oh, I did not mean to do that at 3rd level. Hang on.
17.
You're not worth a 3rd
I'm
level.
gonna start blasting them full of healing. It's like, oh, wait, I'm gonna take some of that healing back there.
I'm having that
Yep.
back.
I drain life from you.
There we go. That's better.
Oh yeah, it's
You,
like
you get 4. You get 4.
I've only got 2 3rd level spell slots, and I want to shatter at some point.
Oh, that's a 1 to die as well.
I imagine it's literally like, oh no, wait, I'm not taking that back, and just stabs on.
Ow. Not trying to stab
It's
me.
like, oh, I feel a lot better. It's like, oh no, I don't feel so good
Oh,
now.
sorry, you got too much
That's
health. Bang!
So, pump Zormir full of life energy, then Meredith takes some out to shoot with.
How much health are you on left, Zomir, by the way?
Point,
31.
you have a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
After
need
that heal.
there's
After the
nothing.
heal, yeah. You had like half of. Alvina's got 4
I'm
left.
slightly better than you.
There we go, and shoot with.
Well, unfortunately,
Meredith.
the worm's
That's
learned
not
to duck it as it blasts into the wall behind. And if you'd like to move, go ahead as we move on to the Titan Stomachworm's turn. Its healing is cut off, so it's no longer able to heal. Its necrotic starts burning more into its body, and the Titan worm is feeling incredibly weak now. It's already bloodied, but it can still smell infection inside the Titan. It needs to take it out, but it won't be able to do it alone. There's
Ah,
only one
shit.
thing an antibody can do in this scenario.
Oh no.
Call in white blood cells.
No.
We get a
It begins
bigger-
wailing, echoing through the land. You can feel this high-pitched ring erupting from the Titan Stomachworm's mouth as the echo is vibrating through the tunnels now. It feels incredibly painful and uncomfortable to the ears as you can hear or feel vibrations further off. It's very evident what this Titan Worm's trying to do. It's trying to summon more Titan Worms,
Oh dear.
Time to go.
as that is its action to do a call of the Titan Worm. Or the Titan Stomach Worm. Professor, it is your turn. This worm is continuing to just wail out for reinforcements. It's found an infection.
So who's looking bad?
Alvina and Zomir.
Alvina and Zormir both looking
And
bad.
Lou.
And Zormir's about to go as well. So I'm going to cast a rather exciting new spell from Strixhaven. And I found it and I thought that works really well for the professor. So everyone who would see, so I guess just Drax really, and maybe Abigail because she's nearby. The professor begins moving their hands in an almost Doctor Strange sort of way, and their hands begin interlocking, in fact, and one arm detaches at the elbow, and it's just sort of like a whole rigmarole sort of thing until it looks like just almost like a periscope kind of looking thing that just begins to blast out this black wave in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range. I'm going to center it on the worm, obviously. It's going to catch Zormir.
Oh.
However, I am going to careful spell that.
This is where it rolls like 80 damage, kills Zomir.
Yeah. I need the worm to roll a Constitution saving throw, please. And remember, it has a minus D4. No one has used that
End of
yet.
your next turn, yeah. A Constitution saving throw. It does have proficiency. It has a D4 in Bane to it, but does it have any reason for disadvantage?
We haven't
Doesn't
poisoned it or
have-
anything, so I don't think so.
No. Okay. So I'm just gonna roll it without the d4 just yet to see
There it
if
is.
it makes a difference. Because that is a 19.
Oh,
it's
hold
an
on,
18
hold on,
DC,
hold
isn't
on.
it?
I need to look this up at last. Hold on. Switch to spells tab.
What spell is
DC 18.
Oh.
Don't forget
So
to
it
mind
needs-
your D4.
Yeah, that's why
Yep,
if
that's
it
what I'm
rolls
about to
a
find out.
1, it's fine.
Saves, yeah. Come
So,
on.
it is gonna come down to this d4.
It doesn't
Yeah,
actually
it's
matter.
great. I love it. I love it.
Are you ready?
Come on.
Let's see if the worm,
Oh!
as it
Nice.
takes it, it's about to fend off, I assume, necrotic damage you're doing.
It is. It's a spell from Strixhaven called Wither and Bloom.
They really named it Wither and Bloom.
Wither and Bloom.
Oh,
So
God
essentially, just a ball of blackness, but also you can make out just flecks of light energy and almost the ticking of clockwork gears. And as I hit into it, it's like an hourglass going super speeded time. The areas that it hits begin to just turn to sand and slough away. And meanwhile, you swear you can hear the ticking of almost like a clock in reverse. As Zormir, you get to roll 2 hit dice and regain a number of hit points equal to that roll plus 5, which for an artificer is d10s.
8.
You,
D8.
Yeah.
Cool. So you get to roll.
Depends.
You get to roll 2 of your hit dice if you wish. That's if you wish, of course.
He's got the lowest
Yeah,
health
well-
of the half-casters, unfortunately.
Yeah. So 2d8 plus 5.
A mighty 6.
And I
6
imagine the
plus 5.
Titan
11.
Worm is taking 10 necrotic double to 20.
10 necrotic double to 20.
Nice.
Alright, it's it. It's looking pretty bad, but it's still on its final legs.
Also, any
It's on its
non-magical
coil.
vegetation, in that area, withers away. As I just sort of, it all
That's
turns
barren
to
tunnel.
it all turns to sand, and it's quite pleased with that spell.
You know, thank you very
Yeah.
much for actually not casting that of Alvina, because she would have violently murdered you if any of her food would have rotted away.
Sorry about that. The material component's a withered vine twisted into a loop, so I had him sort of rip off his own arm and twist it into like a knot.
It needs a plan.
I'm
Give a components
shut
pouch
up.
or something, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to do as a bonus action or anything?
Bonus action, it would just be a spell. I can move some sorcery, some soul points
Okay,
around,
You do that.
Or I
Background went. It is your turn.
or could move away.
So, is Zormir and
Did you say
Alvina
plus-
actually looking okay now?
plus. How much did you say was the plus?
My intelligence mod, my spellcasting mod 5.
Which is...
Plus 5. Okay.
How's Alvina and Zormir looking?
Alvina's
Bad,
looking pretty
good.
fucked up still.
I'm looking a bit better. Probably about half health.
Yeah. Let's
Alvina's,
kill this thing.
Alvina's considerably
Okay.
below half health.
In that case, Lou's also looking bad, isn't he?
Yeah, could be
Poor
looking
Lou.
better, but a bit.
I'm going to use one of my channeled divinities as an action, and Alvina and Lou, you both get 20 health.
Fuck yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers for that.
I think that should help.
Oh hell yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm now down to
Uh,
about
Perks.
just over a third down instead of less than half. So,
Well, don't know if I can cast a bonus action, can't I? Bonus action spell, because that was a.
Yeah.
Child Divinity's in a
Then I'll just hit Alvina with a healing word for another 12.
Hell yeah, thank you very much.
Yep, and then I'm good.
Thank you. Thanks, Gwen. Another one from us. So current rage chant. Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, Gwen.
Alright. Is that Gwent's full turn?
Yep.
Alright, then Zormir is your turn.
You've got advantage.
Oh.
Because Alvina.
I'll do
Yeah! It
22,
matters.
and
Please be
it
necrotic
would
or
be,
psychic. I don't care which.
Uh,
That's the other one, isn't it?
be
Force?
force.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. I remember like 1 and 2 and Radiant and Necrotic.
Necrotic,
Psychic
Radiant,
Force.
Psychic Force.
As it
Oh,
takes
that-
in the 32 force as you just punch into it, and a spray of acid thingies, or spray of poison, oh I keep doing acid, for 12 half to 6 poison splashes over you.
Ow.
Is that was your attack at advantage? Do you have a second attack?
Second attack.
Nah, I don't think I have that.
Or was a 14 at 16 just, what, misses by 2.
Things are pretty tough. They're made of rocks.
A porous rock-like substance. Similar to the kind of blood-red rock around you as well. They've got similar structural integrity.
Oh, it's mithril pumice worm.
And I'll use a bonus action to Guardian Armor Defensive Field. Gain 9 temporary hit points.
Alright, beautiful. Is that your turn?
Defense matrix.
Alright, we go back to support round where you can have Abigail instruct someone to attack if you'd like.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Still right.
Alright. Who would you like her to declare?
What does your reaction do, Zomir? Like your reaction ability you've got?
My reaction abilities I can. Well, I've only got a flash or hit it with a shield, but knocks it 15 feet back. So
I thought you had like a parry or something.
no,
Ah.
I thought I had something better than that, but no, it's if he.
Can flash like boost saving throws?
Yeah, saving throws and ability checks.
Do you want to keep that and let me punch it? Because I've got no other reactions other than just hit it. So depends if you want to use save the flash
This
or
is
not.
how the Abigail Alvina friendship deepens, or if they just become our standard go-to pair.
If you think you can finish it
I
off,
was-
go for it then.
I got a good
I
shot.
was going to be casting Blight on it on my turn.
That'll definitely kill it. That'll definitely kill it.
I thought about that, but
Well, let's find out. Alvina, go ahead and use your reaction to make a single attack then. See if you can
I'm just
strike into it.
I'm just
before
checking if
Lou-
reckless can be used outside of my
obliterates it.
turn.
I do not believe it can. It also
No.
can't be used for opportunity attacks, so
Yeah, I
this
thought
would make
that.
sense.
Yeah, my turn. Yep, just straight roll. Nah. That would have been a good fucking hit as well, though.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, you two just managed to glance off it. Not quite used to kind of extending yourself for a fourth attack within 6 seconds. As we move to Fukyu. Your blade still hanging from the bottom of its jaw. What would you like to do?
So, blade still hanging out. I am going to cast heat metal on it.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So,
I assume I'm making a constitution save.
to try, like, fling the dagger out of itself, yeah.
I'm just going to take the damage.
So,
I don't feel like it has the capability of taking... I mean, it could smack it against the wall or something, but...
Yeah.
It also, unfortunately for you, has resistance to fire.
It is a rock, I suppose.
It's used to being in incredibly hot, intense environments inside the body.
It does have disadvantage to do everything, though, doesn't it? Isn't that a thing on heat metal? Like, unless it can drop it, it's got disadvantage to do stuff.
We'll find out in a moment. Fukyu, is there anything else you would like to do?
Yeah, attack, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
I believe that was a... It's not an action to cast? Oh yeah, it is.
It is an action to cast, yeah.
Has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks at the start of its next turn.
Yeah, it literally saved one of my players in Geddon's life. That ability. That's how I know.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
I
do
don't
any
think it's going to
bonus
get to its next turn, to be
spells.
fair.
Probably
Yeah, I'm just going to move behind Merida.
Yeah, that's fair. Luke Grimm, then, it looks like you have a chance to finish this thing off. What would you like to do?
Oh. Does this mean Neil's going to kill Still again?
so it's
Potentially. We'll see.
To be honest, if he uses Blight on it, he's earned it if he uses Blight, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to use my 4th level spell. We might need to dimension door.
There's other things coming. You might not want
Yes.
to
As it continues to wail in this high-pitched screech that I'm not even going to attempt to do because that will murder my voice.
From the chill touch that I cast, I'm still feeling that necromantic energy flowing through me.
Yep.
So I cast Blight.
Make it bigger, necromantic energy.
Good.
Bigger.
Let the necromancy flow through you.
All right, what am I doing here? I imagine it's a con save.
Con save.
DC 17.
Yeah, it does have decent con save. Got a plus 11 for a 13 though.
Yes!
It rolled a 2. That's a fail.
Two con saves in a row it's failed, and it's got con for days.
If
It does.
Man.
As
So
with
let's
its
see,
9 hit
8d8.
points
Oh my
left,
god!
Oh,
my god.
You did
Over.
70
damage to it.
Oh man.
Kaboom!
There's no kill like overkill.
How would you like to
Single digit
entirely
left.
just destroy this worm?
Oh man. Oh man.
It's just going to be
Spread out from the hand.
basically an overload of necrotic energy that just turns into a ball and explodes inside it.
Oh,
Now,
But
is
so-
it like withering inside itself, or does it like explode out in this necrotic stone? Do you want an
Just-
implosion or an explosion?
Explodes, so it's just like
Oh,
splattered all over
damn.
the
I'm
cave.
so glad I went around the corner to where I am.
As this
so glad.
porous, withered, decayed rock just explodes outward, splashing the party. Its wailing finally succumbs. However, in the absence of such high-pitched tone, you feel the vibrations around you. The tunnels, a buzz of activity. You can feel differing levels as if multiple creatures are now encircling the tunnels. But for now, you
Oh,
are in combat.
Did my little
Nugget.
thing keeping it going like the Bridge of Khazad-dûm sort of escape from Moria thing? Has my guy found a way on / a way out kind of thing that I can just lead the party towards? Don't worry, I'm not planning on becoming Gandalf.
Nah, I'm Gandalf. We established this.
Let's see, you were
No.
continuing it forward. You know that this passage leads back to the party. Would you like to go north,
Sorry, I did that
or
by accident.
there's more passages to the left?
Stomachworm.
I mean,
It also will eventually come into a stomach worm, but we'll get to that in a moment.
And
I mean,
thus
it
the
would've-
tale of the junk dragon ends.
Does it indeed? Would you like to go north or through the smaller tunnels to the left? No, we're gonna go left. Since this would have moved before it got there, it continues going left before the stomach worm rises up, as it will only rise up this turn.
Yeah,
It can either kind of
worm
come
likes-
down the main passage or head north. And there's another passage to the left.
it's got 60-foot flying and it rolled a 23 stealth, so it's gonna just hug. So during that combat, it would have hugged the edges of the walls, skittered along, sort of done that little probe kind of beep 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 beep, examining for life kind of thing, and if there was nothing, either kept going or moved on. Is there anything in that tunnel, or can I just go down this entrance?
There is more tunnel. You
It's all
continue
fucking
heading
tunnels.
down this tunnel.
This
Yeah, it's a
tunnel.
network of tunnels. This whole map
Fucking
is literally
worms.
just a tunnel until you get to the exit.
Who'd have worms?
However, it also
worm.
reaches the edge of your range of 100 feet for telepathy. So you can either have it continue going, but you will lose contact with it, or you can have it kind of return back and encircle. What would you like it to do? This will be kind of its final actions before the combat ends.
I don't have another one. Do I don't have a movement? I will head down that tunnel there. If it's
No,
at
all
the
of
edge
this was
the-
happening while you guys were fighting, and it was
That was
exploring
while
in the
we're
background.
happening. Cool. Then I'll
It comes down and eventually comes back out into this tunnel.
great. Then eventually it'll come back to me. Then I'll heftily worn away from
that corridor.
from the corridor from which the sounds of a worm is coming. We may have to sacrifice one of the Hydra because they wouldn't get their fat asses in gear and move along the fucking tunnel like it has.
I think they'll move if they see the worm coming.
I'm trying to fight it, to be fair. They're not very smart.
The worm that's ahead of them.
Yeah, they might stampede back.
They might just trample Drax.
That's pretty much the extent of most of the time it would have had to explore.
That's more than fair. Thank you very much. I'd be very concerned about the fact that the tunnel branches further down the main passageway. So,
I mean, imagine the tunnel's been made by the worms, or smaller
Yes.
ones, so it's gonna branch a lot, I think.
we must go. More are coming, and I just start running. I'm gonna expeditious myself so I can dash as a bonus.
Grab Susie's reins and just start moving.
Alright, so for all intents and purposes, this is going to turn effectively into a chase unless you want to stay and fight 20 stomach worms.
Not 20,
No,
no,
I'm
good.
running. You know what? Fuck it. I'm
Well,
casting
Chase is
fly.
good.
I'm gonna cast fly instead of expeditious. Yeah, it's that kind of
If everyone can move their minis down to where the professor is as the first bout of the chase occurs.
I'd like. Yeah, as we're
Unless
leaving.
anyone wants to go off a branching path, I'm going to assume they're going to continue down this kind of main central path.
As we're running, I
mostly.
want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good decision.
Because as the professor passes branches, they're going to see worms coming out of the holes
Yeah.
towards them.
The point
So
would have
mostly
picked up
just want
Merida as he
you-
ran past.
She just all start running down the corridor. Abigail quickly chasing after Alvina as she passes, keeping pace. Actually, probably not keeping pace. She only got 30 feet, but keeping pace with the other 30 feet people in the
Yeah,
party.
Alvina's got 45, so... But Alvina's actually leading
Drag-
Susie, who's got slower, so...
Yeah, but Gwen can go a lot faster.
Actually, kind of keeping to the sides of the Hydras, almost using them as cover.
I get that. He is smart, yeah.
As the party continues down. As you're moving past the corridors, with those who... Gwen, do you still have light up? It's light concentration?
It's an hour for...
No, is it?
It's not concentration, so it is still up.
It's an hour.
As
an
the
hour.
party moves, and those with dark vision look down both this top corridor and this southern one, you just see more of these worms plopping out of their tunnels as you catch sight of them. And as Gwen moves past, you just see this light flash across their face, and then vanish again as Gwen continues moving on in this, I like to imagine, beautiful, horrific scene of just these massive worms that did quite a lot of damage to just the two main party tanks coming out in the droves.
I had
It's
a dream
very
like this
much-
once.
I seem to recall that Aliens, the movie Aliens,
Yeah, I
the
know
scene
exactly-
very much
yep.
like this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
But I
God,
imagine the
Godzilla.
professor is leading the charge now with their superior flying.
My junk device is leading and is sort of buzzing around that fork in the road.
Left.
And she comes
that-
face
right.
to face with a
You
stomach
know what?
worm.
That has made the decision much easier.
Go right.
But before she can move on, I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw from the junk dragon, as the titan worm has now had sufficient time to leave the hole and is going to snap out at it.
Is this an opportunity attack?
It is not. It is part of the chase mechanics.
Damn.
And unfortunately for you, they have blind sight and are unaffected by your stealth roll.
Damn. I also have blind sight. Would you grant me advantage on this dex save due to the fact that it has flyby? Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yes, I'll allow that. That's fair.
Excellent. My guidance on it would have dropped, so it would just be without the d4 extra. Oh my god, I really don't want to lose this thing. But if it's chomping down on that, it won't be chomping down on us.
It can swallow it in one bite. It's a giant worm.
Oh shit!
Well, it gets eaten.
Ooh, I don't know. Unless Destiny's about to intervene, I feel like it's about to be eaten.
Save it for yourself, honestly.
Can't spend sorcery point or a soul point to do anything, can I?
You
Nope,
can make
unfortunately not.
another one.
I can make another one, but I like this one.
Then
Is it
fight, then
actual-
jump down the Stomachworm's throat and get it.
Is it an actual homunculus?
It uses the stats of a flying snake.
So yes,
Flying snakes have
effectively.
flyby?
Flying snakes are flyby.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, it's a familiar, essentially.
But yes, are you wanting to use a destiny point to save your homunculus?
Just leave it.
It's. I can make another one very easily.
It's the equivalent of an RC car. Just leave it.
It's more the parts. It's the parts more than anything.
We'll steal them from
It
someone.
is immune, it's immune to poison, if that matters.
Is it immune to teeth?
Yes. No, it's only got
If
5
it's a-
hit points.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's alive in the stomach.
Cool.
It's
So if
swallowed
you do want to retrieve it, it won't be dead.
I have an idea for twist.
Once
However,
you kill this, you can
For
like,
now,
If it
The,
wasn't
leave it.
your
If it-
senses are overwhelmed as suddenly the junk dragon is just consumed by this all gaping maw, and you find yourself in a very cramped, tight, dark space with liquid all about you. I don't
Can
know
it-
when you want to disconnect from the telepathy, but
Can it be stuck in its throat instead?
But so
it'll
it
be-
chokes the
given
death.
given it's a giant worm, I'm pretty sure all of it is a throat. So yeah,
Okay.
deep down in the throat, in its stomach.
Technically, yes.
It's like a size gargantuan eating a size tiny thing. It's probably just
I-
stuck somewhere.
It is technically huge.
That's it's huge.
As I
It's a
can-
baby ones.
As I continue
Could it
flying,
not just get like stuck in its teeth?
Pretty sure the other one was also huge.
as I
The other one's
continue
gargantuan.
flying past,
I just made it look large.
could I somehow twist destiny? And I would very much like to have my little robot break out of the throat, cut like a little laser kind of thing, up through the lining, and fly towards this thing's brain and just attach to it. Somehow.
You want to
And
R2
just-
it?
I want to
Attach to
essentially
it.
R2.
He wants to
drive it
brain
crazy.
parasite this giant rockworm.
I still have
Give me
eight
an
soul points
intelligence
and
check with proficiency for your effectively mechanical skill of creating this.
Arcana.
To see how
basically.
well you designed this dragon to do such a thing.
This is not an aberration, so it'd just be a flat roll.
This could be a decent one, I think.
Intelligence check
Basically,
with proficiency.
Boom.
Natural
Natural
20.
20. Natural 20.
That's our
You
Arcana.
succeed.
Junkrat lives! God damn it.
As this thing is now rattling around inside the Porous. I don't actually think it has a
I was
brain.
about to say it's a rock. Does it have a brain? It's just in its head.
I mean, something
It's
I want.
technically it's a multi-celled organism, but it doesn't actually have a brain. It just it does that thing where its brain is technically all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's got like just a spinal cord. So
It's
if
an-
I could
it's
just
a
have
bug.
it latch on. Yeah, if it just latches on like its control center, so that it's
Yeah,
like
that's fine.
it constantly driving it crazy from the ticking, because we established ticking and stuff, and just have it rear back.
Oh,
Just have
God.
the worm be rearing back so we can charge past the worm, and at the last
No, I like
second the thing flies out of the ear of the thing and
As he
rejoins me at my wrist, and I will go last out of the passage if that's what it takes.
Does it have ears?
It must
it
have
has-
an ear hole.
It has porous holes.
Yeah, it's got a
It
hole.
has many ears,
Or two.
depending on
It
how you
has
define
many ears.
It doesn't have thingy canals.
Ear canals.
How for that? Ear canals.
It's just ear canals. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I
It-
don't know why I
face
thought there was a
holes.
fancier word there.
Everyone has face
There
holes.
probably is. But...
But yes, if everyone wants to move up to the professor, who has managed to effectively paralyze this Titan worm as you guys are running past it. As you guys are moving, you can hear the vibrations of the other worms.
Metal as fuck. I love it.
I thought you were going to leave it. We'd have the TikTok croc from Peter Pan, but a giant worm.
Yeah. This is the coolest thing I think I've ever done as a character.
As the worms are
pretty
now
bad.
starting to flood
Level-
into the
level
corridor
8
and
character.
giving chase to the party.
We're gonna have to sacrifice a Hydra.
No, we're not.
As Drax pushes past Hydra.
Yeah, he's like, nope,
It's
nope.
flying between the two.
So I could get past them. Interesting.
As the party are. Well, yeah, he said he didn't want to try. He wasn't willing to try.
Yeah, he's not going to willing to get eaten by a hydra, but he doesn't want to get eaten by a worm more.
Both.
As the party
both is
continues charging forward. Now, Professor, you said you're gonna wait here. So who wants to take up the point as Professor is waiting to retrieve the junk dragon?
Alvina will do it with Susie. She'll just tow Susie with everyone else being just dragged along with the Hydra.
As you guys are heading forward, as you look north, you can see another Titan Stomachworm wriggling down the corridor towards you. And as you are approaching the bend of this next corridor, I'm going to need you and Susie to give me a dexterity saving throw as a Titan worm maw stretches out and tries to take a bite at you as you pass.
I have advantage. Can I do something instead of having Susie do it? Because I'd be leading her.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I, instead of have it, basically, as I'm dodging it, because I'm in front of Susie, can I throw a singularity slash through my sword at it, just into its throat?
Ooh. Yes. Yes, you may. Go ahead and roll the attack.
It's a save on its part. DC 20 strength save, which I imagine is pretty good.
Oh, it is pretty good.
I'm going to throw basically a black hole
proficiency
at its throat. So...
This will determine how long it's kind of impaired for.
Yeah, it failed.
So it's just permanently impaled. I was going to have it be kind of disoriented and delayed if it failed, or if it succeeded. But you just permanently lock it down as you're able to pass it. You guys are really good at locking these things down for a bit.
I literally went, okay, the next one that starts to come at me, I'm just going to put a black hole in its face.
I'm also thinking over the course of a good like half an hour period as you're running through tunnels and worms are chasing you. But yeah, if you want to continue forward,
yep.
The rest of the party passing, having now passed the professor and caught up to, if you want to just go to the next bend in the corridor, once I try and get the reveal button here.
I can't see it from there.
The rest of you move past the professor and are now catching up with Alvina, who's leading the charge now. You can see this other Titan worm with just a kind of shimmering mass of gravity just pinning it to the ground as its body vibrates. As you have all passed, Professor, you were able to attack the junk dragon now that the party has passed and begin running after them now at the back.
Yeah, final person in the queue. Actually, no, Abigail would be the one I would need to save, pretty much, because her dad would never forgive me. If she's in the midst of everything, it's fine. I'll just fly.
I think she's in the middle.
Yeah, she's keeping pace with the other character, and also she's got a really good con, which brings to my next point. As you guys are all charging and running down the corridor for a solid 10 to 30 minutes, depending on how long you want this forward to last, time passes without any remembrance. All you know is your muscles are burning for those under their own strain. For anyone who is not moving by magic,
yay!
Although technically your magic also comes in play because it has a limitation of a couple minutes.
No.
You know what? Magic also takes mental concentration, so I'm going to need everyone to give me a concentration, effectively a con save.
Oh, I see.
To maintain effectively stamina.
Ooh.
Wouldn't be a spell casting save for me?
No, this
really
one is just
bad for
pure,
Alvina.
like, actual concentration on the spell for so long as you're pushing it to its limits.
It's incredibly bad from Lou.
Ooh,
Yes.
I don't have Warcaster. Warcaster would help with this, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's concentration. So yeah.
Yeah, you're effectively doing a concentration check for spells. Everyone else is doing a con check for body.
But I just fall to the ground rather than be exhausted. Mental exhaustion. Oh, that's a fun.
It is a thing.
Yeah, that's
Here we go.
effectively what's going on. You're really
Natural one!
Right, that's destiny pointing. There we go. A little better. It's not a nat 1, which is the important thing.
Okay. More importantly, since this is your first check, and also just the only one I'm doing for this chase, let's see who failed a DC 10.
I was about to say it's DC. I imagine it's 10. That's why I was like, I'm fine with the 14.
Yeah, this is
anyone who has gotten a 10 to
I'm
kind of
flashing.
15, you're panting and you're exhausted, but everything is burning, but you're still keeping on. It's your life on the line here.
Yes.
I'll flash fuck you to make his a success.
Yeah, because I don't think
Those
you've got...
legs, man!
He's not good enough for Lou, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Lou failed too badly.
No.
He's really short.
He's
slower than everyone else because he's a gnome.
He's a goblin.
No, he's a goblin.
Oh, he's a goblin.
He's
Oh,
still a
whatever.
30 foot.
Oh.
Oh, is he?
So the
You
point
kill
as you're charging, incredibly exhausted, everything's burning, but you gotta live. Alvina, thought might be higher, but
I rolled
still,
really badly.
you're too busy steering a hydra, and it's taking a lot of energy out of you.
I'm
because
hitting
you're doing
walls and things on the way.
Yeah. Zormir continue to run even under their power armor. Gwent managing to just eclipse everyone, and Gwent, are you like deliberately slowing down to not outpace Alvina?
Yeah,
As
that's
you
why my
wanna
roll's
be-
so low, because I'm trying not to run at my normal speed of get out of here.
Wait, just
Unfortunately,
want to get too far ahead and bump into a worm on the road.
It's gonna be a wall at the end, and Gwent's worried. Also, Gwent. Oh, no, he's got light. I was about to say, Gwent's just worried about hitting the end of the corridor and just killing himself on impact.
Gwent's
Susie
worse
makes a
than
real
Gwent.
good shield, is what I'm
the
saying.
rest of you are just seeing these worms pop up in your vision once they like get into range or you like see them. Gwent is just having light flash across a worm, almost like in a horror scenario, only for disappearance or continuing running.
Yeah, it's not great.
I've been on this ride at Alton Towers.
Lou, as you are running, unfortunately, this is much more strenuous for you than you're used to. Being an ex-cultist, you used to just stand around in robes, not run for your life. It's a slightly different feeling, as unfortunately you trip, your muscles giving out as you plunge into the ground. And what would you like to do? What is your immediate thought here as everything, your mind is kind of consumed by the burning of your muscles as you eventually trip and you can feel the rumbling of the ground of these worms coming to devour you. What's Lou's first thought?
Oh fuck.
It's gonna be like, oh fuck, there's a worm about to come out from underneath me and swallow me whole.
To be fair, depending on where you are, you might also be worried about a hydra trampling you.
I'm in front of fuck you, but at the wall.
Oh,
He's ended up behind the hydra somehow. I'm assuming because
Oh,
he was in the passage and the hydra's moved ahead.
that's cool. I can swoop down, seeing you fall, and pull you to your feet and dimension door us to the front.
Are you sure you want the
See-
really unfit person
see-
in front of the
seeing-
two hydras now?
Seeing the guy who I'm gonna be helping. The professor's selfless, but more than that, they are practical.
Yeah, I'm about to
They
say they're
recognise-
practical.
and more than that, they recognise that Lou is the way into defeating Control, and if they get eaten by monsters, well, we're kind of fucked. Although, I could Dimension Door, or I could Misty Step you, which would be funner.
Ooh, Misty
Oh,
stepping
can I
just somebody else.
Oh, could I Misty Step you onto the back of one of the Hydra?
That's cool.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
seeing you fall.
Pushed against the ceiling.
He's not dead though.
Saddlebag then. Seeing you fall, I reach out and sort of twist
Misty
my
stepped onto, like,
hand.
the lower end of the butt.
Yeah, green runes escape my palm, and you just sort of whoop, disappear.
Just tie him to the
Cast.
tail of Susie, so he's just dragged along
Yeah.
the end, like the end of a mob hit.
That's I'm running out of second level spells. But that is the where the fuck? Kinetic jaunt? No, that's self. Where's the other one? Whatever. I teleport you.
Some
'Cause I need you
teleportation ability.
Yeah, I need you alive, so I teleport you. There you go. Put it right here.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, Lou.
Continuing to run.
If I was next to you, I'd pick you up and carry you. Unfortunately, I'm at the front.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
As Lou, you're just suddenly teleported
tail.
away and you find yourself attached to this hydra. Fukyu with a little bit of
Still
help
having
from
palpitations.
you two continue to run, and Professor, the kind of constant flashing light of Gwent's light, the shifting kind of anxiety of all of these massive stomach worms around you, and just the sheer amount of like calculations and constant analysis you're having to do in this perilous situation is really taxing your brain. You're able to push through, but You're building up a lot of stress in those mechanical parts of yours.
Yeah. The body is fine, but the brain is taking a lot of a beating here. It was vortex warp, and you can move 90 feet.
A warning light comes on in your little like head.
Yeah.
Please stop stressing.
Yeah.
So that one's stunned for a bit. That one's
gravity weld. That one's not getting up.
and
Good
this
then,
one's
like-
still moving.
This one is now moving now that the junk dragons left it.
Yeah. Shaking this.
This one's
I-
incapacitated, and this one's easy to move.
I
But sorry, don't
Is
worry
there
about
no way
this.
of,
You guys
like,
have moved ahead further.
Controlling this worm.
turn around and cast Hypnotic Pattern back at this worm here.
Ooh.
Okay.
One of my favorite spells.
To be fair, you can also, if you like, kind of slow down a little bit towards the end of the party, you can catch maybe one or two of them, as the party hasn't actually moved ahead. You're still a bit further before these worms get to corners. Let's just kind of shift you guys forward a little bit.
Gwent crashes into the wall.
I'm gonna cast
as we
Hypnotic
back.
Pattern in a way to catch any worms that are trailing in behind us. That
And also, Fucky's going to try to charm this one.
That one's
you
the
got Charm Monster?
that one's the gravity
I
weld
have
one.
charm monster.
That was
Yeah,
the
I
gravity
was
weld one.
thinking
Do
that.
one of the others.
I was thinking
Hey,
of doing
this
that.
one
We're
for all
not
intents and
technically
purposes
fighting
is
it.
out of thingy.
Yeah.
And you can throw back a hypnotic pattern on the ones chasing you if you'd like. Let me just double check wisdom.
I
They
can't
may
help
have
but
proficiency.
see a bit of a corridor here. That is not. Can we get this bit of darkness because it's paranoid shit out of me? Okay.
Oh.
Feel better now?
Yes. Well, I know. It's the aura from Gwent still. That's what was throwing me. I thought it was a bigger corridor.
That's fair. Alright. Wisdom save, they have a proficiency, so they have a +4 amazingly. That is an 11 and 17, so one of them is going to make it. However, I'm also going to have the one that makes it the second one, so it is going to be partially blocked by the now hypnotic first one.
Nice.
As you guys continue running down. And since you have reached effectively the end of the map, we're going to switch to Theater of the Mind for this last segment. As the party continues running, you've managed to effectively bypass the Constitution skill challenge. You've managed to block off a number of the pursuing stomach worms, and as you're just continuing to run through the darkness of these tunnels, for those with good time perception, about an hour has eclipsed since you've actually entered these tunnels, and you have continued moving effectively in one direction, getting further and further away from your point of entry in what appears to be these never-ending underground tunnels that seem to span a major chunk of Titan Guts. You're actually not sure where you are in terms of the overworld map anymore. You're probably still in Titan Guts, but you have no idea exactly where it is you are.
We're
In
getting
terms
close
of
to the lower
your relation
intestine.
to the maps you've already been.
I was just thinking that.
But as you continue running and running, the darkness and the vibration stretching on behind you, eventually the shifting and changing vibrations seem to slow as you seem to be outpacing the worms, or at least the worms don't seem to be perfectly tracking you from the ones you've managed to kind of block off to your path. And eventually those more erratic vibrations give way to a calmer, more rhythmic vibration, the hammering you previously heard, now much more audible, actually coming down the tunnels, the vibrations in the walls much more solid. Again, every 5 minutes there is this rhythmic pounding of something, but it seems to be taking on a bit more clarity to the sound of it as you appear to be coming upon wherever it is. And eventually, as you get to the kind of continue rushing down these corridors, the erratic vibrations now seemingly gone, or at least left to the far distance, and just the extent of your kind of stamina coming to an end now, you begin to slow and pant as your muscles are raging at you from just how much you've been putting them under. As eventually you slow, coming towards the end of these tunnels, and ahead of you, in the distance down a long stretch of corridor, you can see a slight hue of red light spilling from what appears to be an echoing cavernous space ahead. You can't see it, you can now clearly hear the occasional thump or ringing of something being hit every 5 minutes, echoing up from the red hue. That seems to fill a massive cavern before eventually snaking its way up into the tunnel and down towards the party. As you are, for all intents and purposes, have successfully escaped the Titan stomach worms for now. We're going to... What? Tunnels? What tunnels? The tunnels are gone.
Yeah. We're in a cavern now.
You're at the end.
Is everyone
Like,
still here,
okay.
alive?
No.
Yes.
You look
Where's-
awful.
Yes, thanks.
Assassin, are you okay in there?
Yes. Where's the kobold gone?
She's in my
Just a
bag.
snore.
She's in
Yeah,
my bag,
just
don't
thinking,
worry.
just a snore.
Shh, she's sleeping.
The professor at this point, you would all notice, would sort of land over here, and out would come the little clockwork dragon again.
Now, for note, you guys are still technically in the corridors. You haven't gone into the cavern yet, just because there is sound and light coming from it. But you have a moment before entering the cavern where you can take a pause and discuss quietly. You're not quite sure how echoey these caverns are.
Yeah.
But you have a
Then-
moment of respite. Probably not
Yeah.
enough for like a short rest, unless you wanted to risk the worms catching up with you if they were still giving
No.
pursuit.
No.
Then,
But you have
then
a
they would
moment of-
land.
Quietness.
Yeah, they would land nearby on a rock, and the little clockwork dragon would unfurl from their wrist, and it's very weird to see this metal creature showing what's clearly a kind of love or affection for what's in essence, I mean, those of you who are magically inclined, it's clearly a find familiar, but yeah,
That doesn't
it's
quite.
kind of weird to see, because the professor doesn't really show affection for many things.
I'm gonna pull Lou
That's-
off of Susie's like back and start patching up the like missing layer of skin as he's being dragged across the roof of the cavern for about 15 minutes.
Get the salve out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start patching you up with whatever I've got. It's like, hey, you'll be fine. It's not
Give
worth.
her a nice
That's-
steak.
That's not a homunculus, is it?
It is not a homunculus.
I mean, it doesn't act quite like one of the homunculus I created with a gemstone.
No.
What is it?
Warble's what it is.
Yeah, what one?
It is. It is a living creature,
Aww.
like me.
Still what one?
It contains a fragment of soul energy.
Oh.
Are you aware of the soul engines?
No.
Not soul engines, but I've heard of.
Oh, is the
Back on-
sun a soul engine?
What is the sun?
Big yellow orb.
Oh, the skylight that fractured.
Oh, I should probably actually also clarify. Alterra doesn't have a sun.
Ah.
Neither does Fantasia. They have a sun-like Ori Borealis that flows through the interior of the Dyson sphere, mimicking night and day.
Is
Skylights.
solar still a word that is used?
It's an angel.
Yes, but
I'm
only
just
to
making a
describe
shitty-
the divine light of a solar.
I'm making a shitty joke, essentially. Is a solar?
Maybe I should rename the solar to the Aurora.
Yeah,
That's the next level above solar, I'm sure.
Aurora. No, it's the ice-based version.
There
I mean,
are many objects of power in this world, as I'm sure there are many objects of power in your world.
Probably.
In the same way, Arcanite can be used as a power source, so too can souls be used as a power source. The only way this body, and he sort of looks down, they sort of look down at their metal hands. The only way this body functions is through having a soul inside it.
Wait.
Much.
Ah, so you're not
Much.
running on Arcanite.
I am
I mean-
not an Arcanite being.
Wait.
I am a self-powering
I mean, the
creature.
So, 1 second. You said souls are a power source, right?
Yes,
And power sources are food for a thing, right?
they can be fed into machines. Yes.
Can you eat souls?
we're not back in Brightside Towers. I mean, I've heard of the ghastly place, but I'm glad I've not had to take in
It-
that place.
It is theorized
Oh.
that many monsters become more powerful by devouring the souls and by extension bodies. It is very difficult to extract a soul from a body and keep it isolated
no.
long enough to be held, to be contained. More often than not, they go into the beyond, whatever their next life is, or they are enslaved by a dark power or something.
You would know that the souls are resurrected in the Radiant Empire as either slaves or warriors.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, this is when Abigail actually kind of steps forward, or kind of exclaims loudly and like smacks her palm against her forehead. I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah.
As she starts rummaging, she kind of kneels down and starts rummaging through her pack for a bit.
Yeah?
Yes?
I feel like she's goofing us.
Just to get
no,
Albina's
no, I'm-
brain off of eating souls.
I meant to give you these, but we got so distracted, and then there's supposed to be your going away present before you left when we were saying goodbye, but then we never actually said goodbye. I came with you, and I forgot to give them to you.
What?
Yeah?
Is a
Oh,
crystal of purple worm be gone? Right around your neck.
No,
Worms leave you alone.
But that would have been useful, wouldn't
Disintegrate
it?
spell.
It's like shark repellent.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I was only given 6. We didn't really have one for the sleeping kobold.
She'll be fine, she's asleep.
So
We just won't tell her.
anyway, she pulls out this beautifully inscribed, kind of light brown wooden box with kind of glitchings and symbology etched into it. A little metal clasp on the front. As she kind of takes it up, to, kind of pulls it out to show the party and kind of undoes the clasp and opens it, you can see the gleaming of a velvet interior with little kind of box compartments. And sitting in each one is a small crystal medallion, or a small crystal kind of necklace, effectively, with a small piece of silver chain attached to it. The crystal kind of sitting on the kind of piled up silver chain, and there's a slight, almost metallic gleam from the silver chain.
Is this some kind of adventurers party's rating system?
No, these are we give each of these to any of the going away parties for the rebellion, kind of marauders. How to explain it? It's just when the professor was mentioning soul power there, they're not wrong. It's actually one of the reasons why Noids are commonly enslaved, or trained, or even harvested, is for their souls. The Divine Empire uses them as soldiers rather than pure consumption, but even then we've heard tales of the more corrupted angels consuming or harvesting masses of mighty warriors. The Republic and Monarchy are much more kind of liberal with their harvesting of Noid souls. But more importantly, when you die, your soul immediately goes to the Radiant Empire, and to prevent that, we created these, or at least the leader of the rebellion did. But I have no idea how they work. The professor would probably be able to explain better than I could, since it's what they're studying. But They're called soul shards. You wear them around your neck, and when you die, for all intents and purposes, your soul effectively gets trapped in the crystal, although there's a self-destruct mechanism in there as an option, so they also allow you to effectively destroy yourself. It's kind of morbid, but you have to understand, it's better than being enslaved for eternity.
I get that.
And it would explode.
I really get that.
Well, it doesn't, like, explode outwards. It does a small implosion. All the energy is channeled into actually destroying the soul and dispersing it, so it can't be recollected or got together. It's effectively a last resort if you get captured.
Okay.
And I don't know. I had mixed feelings about giving them to you, given that, well, you seem really adamant that you're not from here, so I didn't know how well it would cross. And
better than being enslaved.
Yeah, the bright side towers.
You keep mentioning that name. What is a bright side?
It's like the opposite of the dark side.
I still do not understand. What is a bright side towers?
It's the opposite of a light side and a building. A tall building.
Well...
I almost guarantee I'll be... How well known is Brightside Towers in Alterra, by the way?
It would only be known to anyone with planar traveling capabilities who would travel through Copper. It's known in Copper because it's one of the few factions that actually kind of deals with Noids or will trade with them actively. A lot of the other factions tend to be a bit more xenophobic towards Noids, given that Noids are kind of the lower end of the barrel there.
Alvina definitely wouldn't know then. She'd have planar travelled possibly to meet the other people, but they wouldn't know what the hell Brightside Towers is.
I can't say I know much about it myself, but I've heard some rumors of the place. Deal with some nasty things that came out of there, I'm sure. Including maybe one sort of crystal that looks a bit like that.
It'll be fine.
I heard they traded in them.
Oh, it's like back home then.
Chris, would I have helped design these based on my experiences in the ring, essentially? Because the ring does the same thing, traps the soul.
Okay, well, I was gonna try and whisper you some details here, but I can't find. I can find the point, but I can't find the professor in my vault. No, the point why I'm whispering you nothing.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that.
Because of both of you having that in it, it makes it very hard to whisper anyone. Because it only takes the first.
I tried both. Apparently, they both keeps the point.
Yeah.
All right, Professor. At the mention of that, only because Alvina used the very specific word, you are one of the few people who knows the true identity of the Dark Phoenix. And the Dark Phoenix's name is Mr. Darkside.
Hell yeah!
Sure, he's a friend.
Technically, he is. He is the leader of the rebellion. He is the Dark Phoenix, known to, whenever the rebellion is snuffed out, will inevitably come back and re-rise. He's kind of an urban myth. Nobody knows if the Dark Phoenix is ever the same person each time, especially with the great distances, and there's also rumors of multiple Dark Phoenixes throughout the cosmos wherever there's a rebellion. But, Professor, as you have actually met the individual, you at least know that this Dark Phoenix is an actual flesh and blood, kind of later middle-aged man.
Like mid-50s?
Yeah, by the name of Mr. Darkside. And he is, as far as you are aware, the creator of the Soul Shard technology that you are studying.
I see. I'm an apprentice of Darkside.
You're a Sith.
Lovely. I do like that. Oh, and I've got a fucking metal suit. Oh, I'm fucking Vader! Yes! Yes!
Told you he's a baddie.
All I've ever wanted!
Doesn't Zormir have a lightsaber at this point?
Kinda, actually, yeah. Zormir is Luke Skywalker. That means,
Oh,
I've just
man.
realised, Zormir, I'm sorry to tell you, but Junkrat's your dad.
Ah!
That's not true. That's impossible.
You
Yeah,
don't know
we're
that.
different universes.
Yeah.
No, actual
Um,
Junkrat's your dad.
The professor,
I'm a shifter.
Like,
He's
he-
a fucking
and-
kobold.
He's also
they
dead.
like these people. They like these people, but they're not gonna just spout off. Oh yeah, their secret identity is, especially when there's a red light coming from the next room. So the professor just sort of takes note of all this internally, and
I'm assuming if the professor could flinch when he said dark side, he would have.
Yeah.
I think there would have been a head tilt, like a interesting.
I'd say I'd roll insight, but I definitely know that Alvina
See,
wouldn't have
it's-
noticed. She wouldn't have cared.
If they want, I'll just use my passive deception. I think
What the
Doesn't
fuck
matter.
happened there?
What's your passive?
it's only like 12. Deception. Where is it?
It's charisma
Oh,
based.
15. There it is.
Oh! Alvina notices the head tilt, but doesn't care.
The
Not
points
on
passive
19%.
insight is below this, so I just wouldn't notice.
This is fair.
I wouldn't even know to look.
I just assume Alvina's always jumpy-ish, so... But yeah,
I know
Alvina's
action.
going to accept the soul shard and then pick up Abigail with a big hug.
Lou's looking at another
I
rock.
don't care about family trees.
You guys have no idea how long I've been sitting on that one. I thought you wouldn't find out until you actually got to the rebellion outpost.
Whereas it was just made as an offhand comment.
Hell yeah. Shout out to me just making stupid jokes.
It's better that
Nothing is a throwaway comment.
It's entirely irrelevant to the actual characters. It
Oh, yeah.
only matters to the players.
Yeah. 100%.
Crisis on Infinite Alterras. It's still going to be a thing. Been floating it for years.
But anyway, in order to actually wrap up, because I told
Yeah.
told
Oh, that's a
people
good
I'd actually
bombshell
finish
to end
properly.
on, actually.
Well, I was going to end on if anybody wanted to stealth forward and see into the cavern.
Yes.
Oh, I've got
Yes.
my little device.
When Alvina's finished patching up Lou and hugging Abigail and telling Susie to stay, she'll creep forward.
Alright, so anyone who's wanting to creep forward into the Cavern of Red Light, go ahead and give me a stealth check. Double check some passives here.
Well,
And we'll see. Oh, wow, yeah,
I just see that as me and Alvina both saying, "I'll take point."
no, this
Bashing into each other.
is the better one.
Everyone's
Zolmir,
like,
we both start
"Out of my
sneaking
way."
forward.
God.
You bump into Alvina, and Alvina goes, "Oi!" and punches you out of the way.
Hey! Throws a punch back at you with a thunder fist.
I'll just catch it.
Lou tries to push Alvina and Zormir out the way to get past.
You just avoid us. You got a
you
good roll.
You done good.
You got a good
You done
roll.
That's what I'm
bad.
saying.
You just avoid us as we. It's like just
You see-
metal.
Out
It's
of my
like
way.
robot arm versus just brute strength. Just crash.
I remember
tried
that scene
to
in the
stealth
Avengers.
without a fight.
Yeah.
The rest of you kind of go, "Oh shit, move away from them."
It's like Iron Man and the Hulk. Actually,
Yep.
so it's Iron Man and Thor. You know that moment when they just grab each other in the Avengers movie?
I'm Iron Man. You guys are clearly Hawkeye and Hulk.
No, you're Ultron.
No, I'm wearing
I am
armor that's
Ultron.
adhered to me.
Yeah,
I think
Zormir
that's
is
more closer.
literally in an Iron Man
Alright, in order
suit.
to, let's actually wrap up here. Then you guys could chat all you want.
Yeah.
As
I'm
a
awesome.
few of you, I'm only got Zormir and Alvina because I could only bother clicking onto. As a few of you beginning forward into this cavern, you can see out that the tunnel leads out into what appears to be almost a raised balcony, 30 feet up. As you look down on the rest of the cavern with little pillars rising up to the ceiling, which is what the red walls are. And you can see into this lower cavern, 30 feet.
Giant point.
I can't make it any
Alright,
smaller.
I think you made it. And you can
That's
see
because
what
he's the
appears to
main
be
point now.
a massive rugs or massive kind of fabric laid along this cavern floor between the pillars, as well as some very large objects, nearly twice, 3 times your size, stationed around here as well. It's just a heap of junk to the north. But just kind of looking, stepping forward, within the 5-minute period, you hear another crack of something being hammered to the south. And if you attempt to kind of peer around, which is why I'm going to assume your stealth is so terrible, not only do you catch out the corner of your eye a row of wooden spikes lining the base of this cliff beneath you, but you also look down and see what appears to be 2 giants of some variety, which the party may or may not recognize as Onis.
Yep, I recognize.
Hammering away at what appears to be the body of a stone giant with 2 massive void arcanite propellers being hammered into its eye sockets.
That seems
Only the
unnecessary.
base of the propellers now actually rising out of the body. It looks like the spikes have been driven through the head.
Shit, they're mine.
So it's definitely dead.
And you're seeing the Onis kind of hammering away, really having to like grind up these massive mechanical hammers to plunge them down to the base of the void arcanite spikes, effectively, that they've become given the size in relation to the giant, and being driven further and further into the skull of this stone giant. However, as you do so, you unfortunately stumble some rocks over the edge, and the Oni stop and both turn towards you, catching sight of the few of you who failed your stealth roll, and they immediately turn invisible.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
And that is where we're going to end for the day.
That's in character.
As there you go,
That's
you
in
have
character.
tracked down. To note, you only see the 2 propellers. There are normally 8 propellers that were stolen from your ship.
Well, that explains the
appears that-
clawed feet, though.
6 more of them are missing from your visual line. They might be here, they might not be. That'll be for a future point to investigate. But that is today's session. You have successfully continued tracking down the Oni thieves of your void propellers. Managed to survive the tunnel of Titan Stomachworms.
That was fun.
And have arrived into the lair of the Onis.
Okay.
Nice.
It's a good session.
Before they went
That's been
invisible.
today's session. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for
It
watching.
was great.
Tune in next time to see what happens and if the Oni and their invisibility are able to defeat the party.
We'll be fine. Just throw me some healing, please.
You've got a potion. Drink.
I was just about
You
to
could have
bash
drank
them.
that on the whole time we've been going.
I've been busy.
The Onis vanish from the map.
Oh, no. Only
I'll
no.
actually say, just for until next week, can we have the Onis just on with like some icons so I remember that there are actually Onis in existence? Because I will totally forget otherwise.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, we have seen that they exist, is the main point for it.
Yeah. So,
Each creature you can see, that sucks.
Yeah, you can't see him.
Each
Yes,
creature
most
you can
spells
see,
require
Yeah.
like
fuck off.
that's why
Each
invisibility is
creature
so
you can
powerful.
see,
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's actually
Well,
why
certainly.
I checked my sword to see if it does anything with invisibility, because it does a lot of detection things, but not invisibility.
Chris, how far away were they?
Far enough away that you can't counter a spell.
I'm actually surprised it was a spell. I thought Onis could just do that.
They can cast out a will with no material components, but I think they do actually still do the verbal and somatic.
Ah, neat.
Damn.
alright.
Damn.
But yeah. I guess that
Everyone
was...
want to say bye from this stream?
Yeah. So, actually, yeah, you should do the sign off first for the reason we talked about, Bob.
Yeah. Well,
See you later.
we're
See ya from Bob.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Vader's watching you.
Say what, Bob?
yeah, we're off.
Okay.
Is your cat attacking you?
No, that's not my end. That's not on my end for once. So, thank you guys. That was awesome. For potential chance, depending on certain things like the frickin' servers being active,
Yep.
me and Bob will actually be on in about 15 minutes on my channel, which is here,
And-
twitch.tv/famouswolfbane, and Dragon Bob's channel,
Dragon Bob FF7.
where we'll be playing Lost Ark with possibly a couple of other people, depending on servers and things.
I think Shadow can't join us because it's not went live for the rest of the people.
Fair enough then. So yeah, there might be a stream in a few minutes. There might not be. Bear with, essentially. But
Oh, cool.
otherwise, thank you very much for watching. If we're not back in like 15 minutes, we'll be back tomorrow with Geddon, the other D&D campaign. Well, Bob will be at least. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Whenever you keep playing video games, keep it awesome. You guys are the best way to switch. Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye. Cheerio.